All right, we are live finally, almost an hour late, but we got there nonetheless. Welcome back to another Sunday evening episode with the infamous Darknite. Of course, we welcome Jacquelyn and Will to Darknite Radio for the first time.
Hey y'all!
So excited.
And you pronounce your last name Conkel?
Yes.
All right. I didn't want to butcher it, so that's why.
All right. And for you guys that don't know, if you guys don't mind, just kind of tell everybody who you are and
a little bit about yourselves.
And what y'all do.
Go ahead, honey.
You go.
Because that reminds me of me and you so much.
See, my job is to just sit here and look pretty. She's got to do the talking tonight.
Hey, can you teach him that? Because that's his job, but he ain't quite learned it yet.
Well, my name's Jacquelyn. We are a part of C and H Paranormal.
And I'm Will, by the way.
Yeah, and this is Will. I guess we have to introduce this guy. No, I'm kidding. I love him. But no, we are a part of C and H Paranormal with Chelsee Conkel and Kate Falcon, and we love them dearly. We are caretakers of the Farrar Schoolhouse, which is amazing. I mean, it's just a beautiful, amazing building that's opened up so many doors for us now and in the past.
Yeah, I gave her a tour. Her and her team gave her a tour at the schoolhouse. She wanted to climb me like a tree that day.
Well, I was part of it. That's true, but
right.
Oh my God.
I was part of a paranormal team called Iowa Paranormal Spirit Chasers before I met William. You know, and I was actually investigating the school, and I'd been investigating the school a few times before he was even a part of it. And he ended up becoming, like, I went there and I was getting tours, like when we booked for our schoolhouse, we ended up getting tours from Nancy Oliver. And then whenever he ended up starting to do stuff over there, I got a tour from him. Our group got a tour from him, and, well, you know, he's handsome, so...
Yeah, Chuck agrees. He said, hey, that Will is pretty damn hot.
We got some lag. Did they
I invited her to the team to be a part. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we're good now.
Yes.
Well, we got a crappy signal when we at home, so I apologize if we do screw up.
It's worth it. We live in the forest now.
I invited her to our team to be a part of the school since she booked it so many times. And then we had this C and H Sunday fun day, and the rest of the team left, and it was just me and her. And then I guess we started talking as the day. And I proposed to her at the schoolhouse in front of 100 guests.
It was a Halloween event, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. Halloween event. And then a year later, on Halloween night, I married her on the stage of Farrar.
That's awesome.
John Tenney was amazing. And I know. And John Tenney was amazing enough to come all the way here and marry us from Michigan. Came all the way here from Michigan and would not take a cent to marry us. And John Tenney, an amazing paranormal investigator. Catch him on the show Ghost Stalkers. I'm a little nervous. They could catch him on Ghost Stalkers too, and just lots of John Tenney stuff. He's a really cool guy. But yeah, and so now we're just, we've been to quite a few places. Like Farrar, our home, and we don't just do Farrar. Residences, anybody needs help. We left some of the bigger name places like Missouri State Pen, Manor, places like that. But yeah, it's fun. We love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I started C and H. I started with Farrar as a building fixer, and from another mother, Seth Alne from CCPI. He left the schoolhouse, gave me his book. He took over the paranormal side of things. Jim Oliver said he needs a name. I go, oh, no, we don't need a name. He says, yeah, we do. It's all right, C and H Paranormal. He said, okay, you're going to need a logo. No, we don't. Yeah, you need a logo. I said, all right, Stay Puft. There it is.
There you go.
And so, yeah. So we started doing the tours. We started, I believe it was 2013, 2014. I started doing the tours, and one of the cool things that I found out is Farrar has these little Pringle can time capsules. So students did. Got their artwork and everything in it, right? And I was wanting to their author because they be in college now. They appreciate it, you know. And so I've said this in every tour I ever did. And then I meet her team, bring them on. I told them about the Pringle cans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, later on, after she came to our team at one of our events, one of our dear friends, Sonny, says, I should in touch with this one. He's on my Facebook. So I said, well, shoot it over to me. I'll reach out to him. I didn't recognize the last name. Okay.
I can
It's
hardly
choppy.
hear you right now.
You got real choppy.
Oh, I thought maybe it was my internet.
They said they have bad signal. They're
Yeah,
like
they
us
said
in the
they have bad
middle of
signal.
nowhere with probably not too many internet options.
Yeah, y'all are froze at the second.
All right. Well, they're choppy and froze. I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Mama Joe. That's Joni.
Yeah.
Hey, Joni. Oh, they left. Let's see if they'll come back. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Kim. That's awesome. Kim said she was there when he proposed to her.
Oh.
That's so sweet. Oh, now Jackie left. We're all alone.
Can y'all hear us okay?
Do we sound okay?
Is it our signal or theirs or both?
Do we sound okay to you, Jackie?
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
There they are.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Let's see if we can get them loaded back in. Let's see.
We can hear you a little bit, but it's still really choppy.
I can't hear them at all.
Yeah, Kim said we sound good, so. Gotta love technical issues.
So
When don't we?
it's that country living.
Yep.
We know all about it. We
I'm gonna
just
take a
now
shout out.
got decent enough internet.
I don't know if she's still on here or not, but Mama Joe, gotta give her a huge shout out. She helped me with some healing stuff over the last couple of days, and that was pretty amazing. Can you call in on StreamYard, Mama? Or Joni? Sorry, saying Mama because that's the name I was looking at. Is there like a phone number or something they can call in?
how's y'all's remodeling coming?
Oh, so freaking slow. Oh my gosh.
We got
They're
the
doing a really good job, but
we
of
got
course my
no
house,
hole in the floor anymore. There's no leak in the ceiling anymore.
of course anything with my house that could be built wrong or installed wrong was built and installed incorrectly, so it's made it like a pain in the butt every step of the way, but they're doing a good job. They got the subflooring completely redone. They got the ceiling completely redone, the roof redone. Now we just got to put in the vinyl flooring and put the toilet back in.
Hi. Put them on the radio.
All right. So go to share.
Go to what?
Go to share. Like your share or invite.
Stop, Wayne.
Copy the clipboard. Yeah.
Messenger?
Yeah.
Give me just a
Hold
second,
on
guys. All right, we're trying it another.
Wayne.
We're gonna try her phone, or they're gonna try her phone to see if it's better.
See if they get better signal.
But yeah, we got some dead air going right now, as Chuck would say. George would be get that dead air off there. But nonetheless. So we do got an investigation coming up. And
Super excited about that.
And
can't
like,
wait.
I don't even know right now. Yep, they will be back.
Yep, give us just a few minutes, guys. We're just trying to kill some dead air, so we'll talk about our investigation.
Let's see.
I know, but anybody that knows anything about Darknite or has watched us knows the old Arkansas hospital that we used to do 3, 4, 5 times a year. Hi, Linda. All right.
My phone's way quieter than yours.
I think that sounds
back.
good.
That's as loud as we're gonna get it, though. Here,
Y'all are.
I
can hear you fine.
Are you sure?
We can hear you fine.
Yeah. That's how I'm doing it, is I have to use my phone.
I think they're trying to connect the Bluetooth speaker. I don't think they can hear us very well. We can hear them good, but I don't think they can hear us very well.
Is it better now?
Yes, we're trying to connect the Bluetooth.
Awesome. When is it? April?
Well, listen on mine and watch on hers. Okay.
But
There you
Right.
go.
then there's a lag for the voices, so that's okay.
Hey, that,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, we can
sometimes
hear you guys fine. Y'all just probably can't hear us very well, right?
See, they're gonna hear that though too, honey. You gotta turn that down and just listen. Put your ears up.
All right.
Don't feel
Oh,
bad.
that's so
We
fun.
live way out in the middle of nowhere too, and up until about a week ago,
Yeah,
we
we
could only
literally-
have one internet option, and it was some shit.
I literally had to dig a damn trench from the road.
You gotta go
Up
back
our-
to mine.
We can't hear, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. We gotta go back to my phone because we can't hear a word on hers.
I don't know what is going on. This is like a brand new S,
Okay.
21 plus phone, but I guess it doesn't have
Oh,
good
my.
speakers.
Oh,
Like,
Oh.
what is this?
okay. All right, be back one more time.
All right.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know. I know that like everything sounds good.
yeah,
We can hear y'all good.
but they
Hey,
can't hear
send me
us.
the link. Send me the link one more time.
All right.
My link's dead.
All right. Yep, right there. All right, I sent it to you again.
All right, give them just a minute. Sorry, guys. Gotta love that technical issues. But when is it? April
8th.
April 8th.
So
That's
not
what I
this
thought.
coming Friday, but the next one. All right, y'all are back. Can you hear us
Hello.
better now?
Yes.
Best
Awesome.
show ever.
Hey, it's okay. That's what I was saying, but y'all couldn't hear us. Like, we live way out in the middle of nowhere, too. And up until about a week ago, we only had one internet provider that we could get. And it was some shitty service.
And we had to dig a trench from the road up our driveway
Which
to
is
our
a
house.
long driveway. It's not a short
Yeah,
driveway.
it's 300-foot trench, literally,
that we had to dig so they
just
could
to
hit
get good internet.
the satellite at the end of our driveway and run
Good.
the cables to our house.
Goodness. Just to get the internet. We can't even get it out here.
No, we can't
Well, that
get
wasn't-
it now.
That wasn't available until about a week ago.
Goodness.
So,
World Wide Web. What the heck? What are you doing?
Right?
It's not pretty worldwide, is it?
not
Go
when you
back to
live out in the
dial-up.
country in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
Linda, Lauren actually has a toothache. So she's gonna set this week out because of her mouth's bothering her really bad.
Yeah, we also had Miss Kim Purvis in here. Yes,
Oh, I love
monster.
her so
Short stack.
Yeah,
much.
she said she was actually there the night he proposed.
Oh, I know she was. I love her. She got me the cutest little wedding gift too. It's so cute. It's a little bottle with like Halloween stuff on it and like little lights, like a wine bottle, and it has little like
Aw.
orange lights inside. It's super cute. I love her to death.
Yeah, we
She's
haven't.
awesome.
Yeah, we
The
have.
energy.
We haven't got to meet Kim yet, but she's been a
She's our
follower
Dark
of
Knight
ours.
family. We call them
Darknite
family, not followers. It's
Yeah,
family.
she's been a Darknite family member for quite some time now.
She is
Just
a peak.
wait till you meet her. She has so much energy and she is so enthusiastic about the paranormal. You just love her. I mean, you just want to follow her around because she's so excited about it all the time, and it's amazing.
But
So
be careful. Don't step on her, though. She's really short.
Hey, me too. I'm 5'2".
Hey, they'll get
I feel
her
it.
and Sherrick will be great.
Look,
They'll get
I
along
make up
great.
for my
They're both
shortness
shorties.
by width. Okay, it's okay.
I love it. I'm gonna use
So-
that.
You said that like you had done tours and stuff, Jackie. Had you done any like solo like team investigating or anything like that prior to Farrar?
Oh, absolutely. I like William. He started at Farrar. I've been investigating for like professionally with equipment since like 2010, 2009 or 10. And yeah, I got into it because I had some really crazy experiences as a kid, and that just like propelled me into it big time. And I was super scared of it for the longest time. Like I just had this feeling if I ever sat down and tried to make contact with the paranormal, I'd be able to. And the thought of that scared me. It really did. It scared me, and that's what ended up happening. That's what exactly what ended up happening. One of my friends that I worked with at Perkins, she actually had some equipment, and she knew that I was trying to get into it and stuff, and she'd just gotten it, and she asked if she wanted me to borrow it, and it was just a recorder and a K2 meter. Well, that's all we needed. Sat down, tried it for the first time. It was crazy active. And just, yeah, it was crazy active. Did like a few of my friends' houses and just like random places. And
Hold
yeah,
on.
and I met William.
No, you're good. You're good.
Not you. He was talking to the kids are knocking on the door. Sorry.
So, correction. Before Farrar, I was a private contractor in the construction trade, and the first job I pulled out, we totally changed the footprint of this house, remodeling it. and it was haunted to beat all. And you know, we watched all the stupid shows, and we just decided to try and hone our skills. And it took us 4 months to redo this
You were
house.
doing the house first.
And we were trying everything, coming up with things. I made my own equipment. Jacquelyn looks at it and my old equipment and laughs at me all the time because, you know, she has these purchased equipment, you know. And I like to say that I married her for her equipment, her paranormal equipment, okay.
That's why I was laughing. I was like, equipment? Yep, I'm sure.
Mess it up if I spun it.
Yeah.
You think it will?
Yeah. I didn't start at Farrar, but Farrar taught me.
Yeah.
What I found in my years of doing this now, what I find, especially with Farrar, it'll teach me something, and then it'll change the game up. And everything I learned was nothing, you know.
Right.
I'm so connected with this schoolhouse, and I think everybody's heard now that they are selling it.
Aww.
I didn't hear that.
Yes. The
What is
Olivers.
happening to all of the good locations? Like, this
Well-
is crazy.
Well, the Olivers, they're getting up in age. Their health isn't too good, and they're just tired. You know, they live on site. So whenever they book the schoolhouse, they're locked down until the guests leave, you know. So for our friends, I'm happy. For the schoolhouse going away, not so much, you know. It stings a little bit. It's almost like I don't know, the dog you had forever died on you, you know.
Yep.
I'm at peace with it, just very, very sad.
Yeah.
With COVID, the COVID crap, it really kind of put a damper on our events and things. We were somewhat disconnected from the schoolhouse. And last night I went and did a tour and an interview, and that was probably 5 months since I've been there to do that. It felt great, felt wonderful.
So do y'all have any events that y'all have scheduled there before?
Well, we actually had one. I don't know what she's doing.
I'm trying to get the view because it is like going. Sorry, it's going up on my under chin and it's making me self-conscious. So I want to move it a little bit.
Oh, you're fine.
First he had it up, and then he switched the camera to where the camera lens is at the bottom of the phone now. So I wanted to make it high. Just trying to level it out, okay? Come on.
Right.
Well, we had a study hall scheduled for this month, and we have to reschedule that. It's probably going to be in June. We're also going to do a summer school event this summer. That's an all-day event.
Summer schools are super fun.
Yes, yeah.
They really are. Tons of people come. We have classes all day with like different teams doing different paranormal classes and things like that. Of course, the investigation after, and usually we have vendors selling, just cool random stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Man,
One year we had a tetherball championship.
Oh.
Oh, that is awesome. I haven't played
Man,
tetherball
I remember
since
playing
school.
tetherball when I was in school all the time.
Yeah.
That was like,
I don't even think they have that in the schools nowadays.
They don't. They outlawed it.
Oh, he hooked it up. He said, "We're doing this."
that's cool. There's so many things that you could do at school like that, that
The schools changed
I love
so
how y'all
much.
themed that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
They miss
What
out
else
on a lot of the
What
stuff.
else would you like to know?
So I did see on your TikTok page that Farrar and y'all were featured on Kindred Spirits.
Yes, sir.
How was that?
You know, we previously met Adam Barry. He was at another team's event. I'll tell you something about Adam. He missed his calling. He's a freaking comedian. Belly laugh hard every time. One thing I disliked about Kindred Spirits was they interviewed. Well, first off, I look really dark in it, right? Have you watched the episode yet?
Yeah, I've watched. I haven't watched it. I did watch the TikTok. I just actually seen it because it popped up on my feed earlier, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check this out. It's Will and them, and it's Kindred Spirits." And like, I've watched some of their episodes. I'm familiar with Adam and Amy, but I haven't really.
Yeah.
I have a hard time watching production shows. I just
Well,
can't.
You know what I like to say is if you watch them and you look at it as entertainment, it's actually fun to watch. But if you're looking at it as full-fledged investigation, you're going to be either pissed off or really disappointed.
See, that's
Okay.
me. Like, even going into it for like an entertainment, because I guess my story is a little bit like Jackie's, kind of, from what she said, just experiences that happened when I was little. I was full force, watched all the shows. I was like so into it. And then I met Dwayne. We worked together. And he's all like, oh, yeah, we just, we got a ghost group. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's awesome. Started going on investigations with him. That's when I really just got into all of it. And now when I watch them, even when I watch the shows for entertainment purposes, I still I get pissed off. You're right. I get pissed off. And then, even with Kindred Spirits, another house that they did that we are very familiar with, we know the guy, been to the house many, many of times. They twisted the story, and I guess they kind of have to for because it's entertainment, so they got to make it catchy. They got to make it this, and I'm like, it just
they got to make sure you come back next week to watch.
Yes, and it pisses me off, and I can't watch them.
And honestly, and just real quick, back in the day, when I first started ghost hunting, which I've been doing it a while as well, or paranormal investigating is what I prefer to call it versus ghost hunting. But
well, there is a difference.
Yeah, but in 2012 is when I started. I think 2012 or 2013, I'd actually lived in a house that had a lot of activity going on. I had children running through the house at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. No kids were up at that time in the house. I had doors opening in the middle of the night with no explained reason that I knew was locked when I went to bed, and I checked them and they opened. That was a little unsettling, and that's kind of what I'd always had an interest in the paranormal in general. Had some experiences as a kid, like most of us, but that's when I really picked up full force. And honestly, I was watching it's one of the most hated individuals in the paranormal. I wouldn't say hated; it's a hater-love relationship. Mr. Zach Bagans.
Yeah, you're my best friend.
See, I started out watching him
when I started before I really got into it. And I watched Ghost. I'm not gonna lie. At that time, I watched Ghost Adventures a lot, and I was like, okay, that seems pretty interesting, And so, and then I get in it, and I'm like, this ain't nothing like. And we went to Bobby Mackey's where they went. Don't get me wrong. I know other people that's had experiences at Bobby Mackey's, but
we had experiences.
Yeah, we had experiences, but what they portrayed it as never happened for us. Not to say because any location you go
it's
to,
always different.
It's different, and it can be different every day you do it.
Now, in that, I will say too, you got to stop and think production,
but
it's not the investigators that get to edit it and make the show what it is.
Right,
it's other people, but I couldn't go along with it and be okay with it.
Well, to stay on that, that topic you just brought up. So I talked to Jacquelyn, and we'll be right back.
Yes.
I talked with the executive producer, and I said that I wanted my wife with me, right?
Right.
I looked so dark in that walkthrough because my wife was sitting out in a car on the hottest day of Iowa summer. They had other plans. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have
Turns,
been livid.
turns out that me being pissed off on a paranormal show really pays dividends because I look pretty good, pretty dark. So I brought that up. I fought on that one, and what they did the next day was they interviewed her with Adam up on the stage. Okay. They also did a phone interview with Nancy Oliver, and they flew our good friend Seth Alne from New York and interviewed him.
Man, I'm friends with Seth too.
Yeah, I love it. He's my brother, man.
He's awesome.
I'll take a bullet for that guy. But they didn't. They were left on the editing room floor, right? Now, Kindred Spirits left the schoolhouse in good eyes. Okay, they no demons, anything like that. Adam and Amy are fantastic. The crew was fantastic. They weren't good on scheduling, letting me know what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
But they did their best, and then people in New York decided to do some clip and snip, you know. The one thing in that clip I have on TikTok, Farrar was showing itself to them. The two big bang, okay.
Just, yeah.
that big bang, and they actually cut in between the two bangs. They cut after the first one, and then they went to go try to debunk it, and they couldn't. And then so they came back. You got a ghost behind you.
Yeah, that's our ghost skip.
So they came back, and then they started recording again, and it happened again. And then later on in their investigations, it was showing itself to them, and they walked away from it, which is really kind of sad. But I, you know, and I after it aired, I got tied up in the online chatter, and I shouldn't have. I should not have got tied up in that, and you know, I totally made a fool of myself on that. But you know, I've been on 3 different productions now, and I hate it. I don't like it. I've been trying to get my wife out there because she's prettier than I am, and she deserves it, but it just doesn't happen. You know, she's just too pretty and happy. That's what it is for paranormal shows. But again, it's entertainment. That's all it is. Maybe 10% of that episode might be viable, you know, and then the rest is to come get you to watch next. And you know, the people that are on the shows, that's their job. That's what they do, you know. And I don't knock that. It's just not what I want to do, you know.
Exactly. And that's what I've always said, because like in the beginning, you know, Dwayne was all like, oh, it'd be cool if we got a TV show. And like we had actually been talking with Nick, and like when Viddy Space was a thing, you know, looking at that opportunity there. And I was just like, you know, I'll walk away. Like I would walk away before I signed anything with any type of production or anything like that, because it's not the investigators. It's the ones, like you said, like New York, wherever, sitting in the offices that turn it into something that it's not.
Right.
And I don't care. I would rather keep doing this without a paycheck than to get a paycheck and what I do be turned into something that it's not. I'm not willing to. I'm not going to sell my soul.
And you know, I've got now, thanks to the schoolhouse, I now have a very lot of celebrity good friends.
Yeah.
I'm not a name dropper. I don't really care about their celebrity. I want to know them as a person.
Right.
So there's this convention that was in Omaha. I think it's over and they're not going to do it anymore. But golly, please forgive me. What is that convention called?
In Omaha, is that Mike Rick Suckers?
Hauntacon, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mike Rick Suckers?
No,
No.
So,
his isn't. Mike does his at Alton,
Or,
in
yeah,
Alton,
Alton,
Illinois. Yeah.
But anyway,
So-
sorry.
the last one I went to, we missed this last one. Just timing, bad things happened.
Oh.
But the last one I went to, Mr. Buell was there. Okay.
Paul! I was so fangirl to meet him.
Yeah. So Jacquelyn came up on Paranormal State, right?
Mhm.
So him, Chip Coffee, she's just fangirl, right?
Oh,
That's
So-
Jerica. Chip Coffee's her, bro.
Yeah.
That's her idol. That's
So I go outside for a cigarette break. Jacquelyn's manning the booth, womaning the booth, and Ryan's outside on the curb, and he's taking a picture of the marquee. It's got his name on it, right? So he thinks it's real cool. He's taking it, and I'm standing out there having a cigarette. I'm just looking at him for a minute before I talk to him. One thing I didn't remember was Madison had given me this Stay Puft hat, right? And on top of it is got Stay Puft's little Navy hat, right?
okay.
I'm still wearing it. I forgot it was on. So I'm leaning on the building, I'm having a cigarette, and I look over and I say, "Hey, Ryan, how you doing?" He didn't say a word about the hat. But he goes, "Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. Everything's great." And I go, "No, man, how are you doing? You know, after his fall, I wanted to know, are you getting up? Because you deserve to get up, man.
Yep.
You deserve a second chance." So I got to know him a little bit. And then I said, "Here's what I want you to do." Actually, at that time, Jack, I think we were setting up. No. This I got a whole different fangirl story. She's gonna be mad when she comes back. So she's womaning the booth. I said, "I want you to do me a favor, Ryan. I want you to walk up to our booth, and I want you to look at my wife, and I want you to just ask her some random question, right?" So he goes and walks in there, and she just totally, lost it. Talking about Ryan Buell.
I would so fangirl. Oh my God. And I'm like you. Like, what he did was wrong, but he paid his price. It's done. It's over with. The man, like, I would love to see him investigate in person.
You can't kick a man forever.
I mean,
Right.
and that's the thing with a lot of the celebrities. Like, I get that production makes it what it's not. I'm like you. Like, there's so many of them I want to meet. It's not the fact that they're celebrities. It's because in a few of the clips, when you get to see them doing their actual investigations, it's like, I want to know their investigation styles. I want to know them for who they are and not what production makes them to be.
Right. I mean, here's one of the coolest little experiences, kind of like that to me, was the time that Adam Berry came to the schoolhouse prior to Kindred Spears coming. Okay. It was just fascinating to me. It was kind of dying down a little bit, and there's Adam Berry and my wife on the stage ghost hunting.
Sorry.
You're
It's
all right.
I saw that. She was like,
I'm in the back of the auditorium in a chair just watching this happen. My wife ghost hunting with Adam Berry, and I'm sorry, Adam, but she's tearing him up. Oh man, she was out ghost hunting him.
like it's like some sort of like ghost hunting contest.
It was an awesome thing for me.
Right. And I ain't gonna lie, when we met Chuck in person, oh my God, I fangirled over Chuck. Like, I mean, to me, like, Chuck is a celebrity to me, and he's like, "Stop! I'm just an average person. Like, stop!" And I'm like, "Bro, like, it's you."
I got a fun Chuck story for you. The first time I met Chuck, he was at our summer school event at the convention side of it, and I look across the gym, and I didn't know him yet. Chuck is my wife's back's to me, and he's standing. So my wife's between me and him, and she's crying, and I'm thinking, well, that guy's making my wife cry. I'm gonna go kick his ass. What it was he was reading her, and it had to do with her mama.
Yeah.
So I came up and introduced myself, and so then he says, "There's somebody behind you talking to me." And he starts reading me.
I got chills.
And it's Jackie Carpenter, the psychic that actually just started Farrar. She lost her battle of cancer, and we had her funeral down in the gym. Okay, and it was packed. All these people there, and the air conditioner goes out. So I jump up to get the AC running again, and I get it running and think, okay, great, fantastic, it's running, and it was over, right? The whole service was over. So he looks at me and says, you knew this woman. Every time you come to the school, you had this long list of things to do, and you said hi in passing and went and got started on your work. And I'm thinking, how do you know this crap? You know, what's wrong with you? And then he said, Jackie broke the AC because you're just so busy. You didn't need to see that.
Wow.
That was my first run-in with Chuck.
Yeah, and he was spot on with my mom too. He did this weird thing that I felt like only like that could have came from her. It was strange, and he was even like, okay, I'm gonna tell you this, and it's gonna sound kind of weird. And I was like, right when he said it, I knew it was my mom.
Right.
Off topic.
He's
Off topic.
so freaking cute.
This kitten is up for adoption. Off topic.
Oh.
She's a Torby, and we saved her life. I mean, he brought her home from work, and her eyes were matted closed. She couldn't see or smell anything. I mean, she might have weighed like 2 pounds or something.
We rescued a cat, and she has had nothing but litter after litter. Every time I take her to get her fixed, she's pregnant. I don't have the heart to work the babies. So we have 4 kittens that are still nursing.
Like, we didn't even
2
have a male
from
cat
a litter before that.
here, and somebody dropped a male cat off in the woods or something, just dropped it off, and now we got a random male cat that hangs out here.
Oh, man.
And I'm all like,
And she was a rescue. We had no intention on keeping her. She was a rescue.
Up for adoption. We can't. We have 6 cats right now.
We're 5, 6. We have 7, and I don't want any.
We're working on giving away some of them.
She's up for adoption.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead.
So we stepped off into like Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom there for a second.
Oh
No.
We never stay on topic. It's okay.
For you kids, that was a show on Saturday nights back in the day. Okay.
There you go.
So, question.
Yeah.
Do you folks delve into other sides of paranormal, or just ghosts?
Actively investigate. We definitely believe in other realms, and I'm speaking for me and Dwayne, the other team. That they have their own views. For me and Dwayne, I definitely believe in more than just ghost or spirit in paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of our investigations, I believe that we've ran into some other beings.
Cool.
Our primary focus is when we do our investigations and stuff, it's more spirit related, but I don't rule anything else out. I believe in it all.
Absolutely.
For me personally, I don't know how to put this without sounding crazy, are insane, but
No, you're absolutely nuts. But go ahead.
But what's insane whenever we're paranormal investigators? I mean,
Yeah, right.
but I mean, at the same sense, I don't.
Hey, Jerry.
I can't even really say friends, alien protectors. I guess you can say like.
Yeah.
But when you think of aliens and stuff, you think of like little green people. But that's because that's what Hollywood portrays them to be.
Right.
But that's not how I see them. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like that's not like, and a lot of times they're kind of like, I don't know, I guess you could say kind of like spirits in a sense. In a way.
Yeah, like I felt like my whole life I'm wondering if it's somehow connected. Like some of the things that I've seen that I think were ghosts or maybe aliens. Like I've thought that. Because
that's how I relate them. Is they're to me they're very similar to spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, aliens. I mean, UFOs, aliens. Like, let's just be real here. They scare the crap out of me. Like, I am not even. I feel like I have had an experience like that was too. Me and my friend as a kid, we were like teenagers. We both seen this freaking UFO. I mean, it's an experience. And I'm telling you, we're 15, we're both 34 now. And I mean, there's still times to where it'll be like, hey, do you remember that night when we were, outside on your deck at, midnight? And I'm like, yeah. And I mean, it was terrifying. Like, I am just scared to death of aliens. Like, I'm really
intrigued by it. We were actually fishing one night at night down on the Arkansas River at the dam, fishing. And there was 3 lights that appeared in the sky. And it was
triangle form.
It was so random. I was like, there's no way. Because, like, they faded. They came on.
And I had video.
Lights? What color
they
were
white? White. They were 3
and we actually got it on video.
I got videos of it, like 2 or 3 videos. And they're actually on our Darknite page. It was a while back.
Oh, heck yeah.
And we were all watching it. And they disappeared and then came back again in a different form. Like it started, they were like in a half circle. And then they came back, reappeared in a triangle shape.
Wow.
It was, the crazy thing was about 2 days later, we were, I don't know if it was on the internet or something, but they were actually seen in Canada. And somebody had a video, and it done the exact same thing that ours done in Arkansas in a different country.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
So I was like, wow.
What was it? Friday night or last night? We were coming back from Grinnell. We live at Rock Creek State Park, so we got a beautiful lake as a front yard. Okay, and the turn that we took is probably about 1.5 miles from the lake. When we took that turn, just like I said, this happened Friday or last night. I think it was Friday night. We took that turn and we seen this plane over the lake, but it wasn't moving. Okay, and this was at night. Okay, I'm saying plane because that's what it looked like at first, but it wasn't moving, and it stayed above the lake until we got to that lake. Like I said, 1.5 miles. And then it started to move a little bit. And I stopped the car and I rolled the window down, stuck my head out to see if I could hear a helicopter props or something, Mm-hmm. Nothing. Silent. And it started to move. And then we went ahead and pulled into the park. And it moved on just a little bit, but then it stopped. It was just hovering there. Planes don't do that,
Mm-hmm.
The Harrier jump jets do, but that wasn't a jump jet.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
So I don't know what that was. Really cool. What do you think about Squatch?
Okay, I gotta tell him a UFO story.
Go ahead. I
have to tell you the UFO story.
You gotta hear this. It never changes.
Yeah, he can vouch for me. We've been together a long time, and I mean, it happened. Like I'm telling you, this without a doubt happened. If it didn't happen, somebody strike me down or something. Like this happened. Whenever I was like, I think we're about 15 years old. It was me and my best friend. We were out on my parents' deck, and we're out there. We've got like a blanket down, and we're just like laying on the, it's a nice night, so we're out just laying out there, like talking and looking at the stars and stuff. Well, my mom had worked nights, so she was gone. So it was just us. And we're out there, and we start noticing these like little red lights up in the sky, and they're red, and there's multiple of them, and they're being really weird. Like they would like go one direction really fast and then stop, and then go another direction and stop, another direction, stop. I mean, over and over. And it was probably like 4 or 5 of them, and they were just, I mean, very odd. I mean, just boom, stop, boom, stop, boom, stop. Well, they ended up going like past my house to where you couldn't see them anymore, and they disappeared. Well, once they disappeared, here I am like 15 thinking I'm the most badass person that ever walked the face of the earth, right? So I think it's really smart to try to like, throw insults at the aliens, okay? Don't do this, people. I've learned my lesson. I jump up, okay, because we're laying down, and then when they disappeared, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to jump up, and I stand up, and I grab the rail, and I look up, and I'm, like, yelling at the sky, like, come back, you effing aliens. I'm not scared of you. Come back. Where'd you go? Just yelling stuff like that. Like, come and get us. I literally said, come and get us, mother. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we're not afraid. Well, she ends up jumping up. So both of us, we're 15-year-old girls, like, come and get us, mother effers, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm telling you guys, okay, there's like my yard, and then there's like a big tree at the very end of the yard. And out of nowhere, like while we're yelling at them to come and get us, this huge bright white light and this huge bright blue light, like right up against each other, appear like right over the trees. I mean, right over the trees, like right in front of us. Blinding. You can't see. You can't see past it to make out. You can't make out a ship or a form. There's no sound. There's literally no sound. There's no wind. It's like midnight. There's nothing there. And we're standing there. I swear she's just like struck, like just staring at it. And I look at her and I'm like, I grab her. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm getting my ass inside. And I grab her and we run inside. And we run in, we lock all the doors, we go around and make sure we close all the blinds and stuff. And my mom was at work. I grabbed the phone and we just sat in my living room like we had knives. We went and grabbed knives. Both of us had knives. And we're sitting on the couch and just called my mom. And we're like, I'm just crying, like, you got to come home, you got to come home, you got to come home. And neither one of us looked back outside after that. Like we never looked back outside to see if it left, if it came back, nothing.
You didn't want to know what it did, did you?
And I'm telling you,
from the house to the trees is about 60 feet.
Yeah, it's not very far.
That's how close.
Oh, wow.
It is very close, and these lights were blinding. And I'm telling you guys, fear, I've never felt fear like that in my life. Like, I'm getting I'm getting goosebumps right now and freaked out. To this day, it's been 15 God, I'm getting old, like forever ago, forever years ago. And to this day, I'm still nervous. I still get nervous. There's times I go outside at night and I'm still scared. Like, it literally it impacted my life to where I get scared now by myself at night and stuff. Like, I really do because of what happened. Like I know, they heard us. How did they hear us? How did they appear over the trees? How was there no wind? How was there no sound? I don't know. Sorry, it scares me. I get all worked up about it. Still works me out.
Chuck, I'm really just a damn ghost, Chuck. I'm not even here.
Oh, he's cracking.
You see, watch. I'll turn into a ghost. No, it's not.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna go. Chuck said. He started off. He's all like, probing happens.
When you were talking about taunting them.
Probing happens.
Luckily, he didn't that night.
Where
But
no man has gone before.
you know what scares me though? Okay, this is one thought that I have had. I've had this thought multiple times. Okay, like I feel like nothing happened. Like I feel like we're safe, and I feel like nothing happened to us. But like you hear all these stories about people like having that kind of stuff happen to them, and they like get abducted or something happens, and they don't even know it till they're like hypnotized. I am so freaked out that maybe something actually happened to me. You know, I've been X-rayed though before, like not everywhere, but they haven't found any little metal shards yet.
No, they abducted you and made you fall in love with an old guy.
They did. That's what it was. They were like, boom, you're going to fall in love with a man 21 years older than you. You're going to make you creepy.
I mean, I think if I would have had an experience like that, like, I could see why you would be, you know, like scared of it or cautious. I mean,
because there's no doubt in my mind that that is real. Now,
I find it very intriguing, and it's like I want to know more about it, but being intuitive, Heinz 57, I don't know what to call it. Like I connect with spirit, so that's where most of my focus is at.
yeah.
And
I think that's good. You know, aliens are scary. Stay with ghosts.
I agree, though. Like, I would love to have, like, I mean, I feel like we've had a couple of encounters with them.
Yeah, what's crazy
nothing
is
that's really scared me. So I'm like, I'm curious. I want to know more.
What's crazy is like, I believe I've seen one in my yard. Like,
oh yeah.
With my own eyes, yeah, like
oh no.
yeah, I'm like, and this is
I'm scared. It's like a scary movie.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this. I'm 100% for real right now. I'm 99.9% sure.
It's not possible.
I've seen one
honestly
in my yard, and
hey Ginger.
Ooh, you're so freaked out.
and like,
because I think Chuck asked a question, and I think he's kind of being maybe sarcastic or joking, you know, being Chuck, but it actually kind of goes back to what I said earlier that I honestly believe.
yes, Chuck. I mean, he
said, "Hey, here's the scary question, folks. What if we don't discover aliens or little green men? What if they are human beings?" Which kind of makes sense with the theory that I have that they're more like spirit
than
they are the little green men.
I don't know if you were listening.
He said not being sarcastic.
Oh yeah, they're smart. I believe they're way smarter than us. I feel like they were like...
The few experiences that we have had with them, like I said, to me, they were more like a spirit.
They've been in more human form.
I associate them more as like a spirit, which would be, you know, like
a little green man type.
What did you see in your yard? Like, what did it look like?
It was like almost like a person, but the way,
spirit.
Like it was almost like a spirit, but the way it was shaped, like the way its head was shaped. I actually have a picture that I took of one in the front yard, which he actually looks really damn scary in the picture. I'm not gonna lie. Like he has like these sharp teeth that come down, and his mouth's all like this wide, this big when he's smiling. But
that's
it's
a German Shepherd.
Sure if that one was actually alien or if that one was from.
Well, that one I don't know for sure.
Thank you, Ginger.
The one that was in my yard that I seen was like, he was more like us, but it's hard to explain. But he's not really like, you could tell that it's not human, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is human? I mean, this universe is so vast.
What is human?
To think
what
that
humans have made
to
it.
think that we're the only beings that look like this, you know?
Not at all. Not at all. I agree with you.
My theory on it is I think there's other, I don't know like what the technical term, because I'm not, you know, all that smart with all the technical, but you know, different realms like the aliens, the Sasquatch, the humans, you know, all of that. I think there's so many more different kinds of beings or things that we haven't even discovered yet that are all around.
And you,
right.
I mean, you look at the ocean. How long have they been studying the ocean, and they're still finding new species of this and new species of that? Who's to say that there's not other beings that we haven't discovered yet?
And you asked about you asked about Sasquatch earlier, and I actually going to touch base on that a little bit. We were doing an investigation, and it was actually somebody's house that I knew that owned the property. And no, you're good. I wouldn't tell you that. But we're out there investigating, and we're like, there's a wooded area, a trail out behind this house or trailer that they live in. And so it's the middle of the night. Of course, we investigate most of the time in the dark. But so we're out there walking this trail at night, and like, we hear a noise. I look up, and there's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a big, I don't know, almost like a bear, but it was like above the trees. The way it moved, it was above the trees. And I saw this with my own eyes and stuff, and like, it kind of freaked me out. So, we hurry up and try to hurry up and get around the trail. Well, we get to the other side of the trail, about to come out. Well, the whole area is wooded. And like, you start hearing these loud footprint, like loud stomping, running through the woods. Like, and you look over and you can see this thing. I don't even know what, like, it was bigger than we were. And it wasn't like moving like, a bear, you're going to see all four legs running. It was more like on two legs.
Yeah.
It's like you with your big tree, like standing like a tree.
Yeah, I've seen one in Utah. My school years were in Utah, Salt Lake City. Me and my two cousins were cruising State Street scamming for chicks, right? And we had to go to the bathroom. So we go up above the Capitol. That's the best placement of any Capitol in the nation is Salt Lake City. It's up on the side of a mountain. So we go up behind there, and at that point, they were building a subdivision up there. So it was just streets, and we go onto this blank cul-de-sac. And we get out, and we're standing in front of the truck and everything, doing our business. And the moon, it was like a full moon. It was just lighting up. You know how the moon will light up suburbs,
Right.
It was just lighting up the whole side of the mountain. And we've seen this as like a white pine, Yeah. I say pine tree, people think triangle Christmas tree, but you know how it's shaped kind of like a oblong teardrop,
Yeah.
So we see the silhouette of this tree, and we all three looking at it, and after a bit, the tree turned its head and then looked back at us. And we all three pretty much crapped our pants right there.
Right.
But we couldn't move. we kind of scared. And the thing just turned around and walked away from us. We got in that truck and we hightailed out of there, and we didn't talk about it. And I went back, 20 years later, I went back to Salt Lake, and I'm sitting across the table from my cousin. And I said, let me ask you something. He said, Bigfoot, right? I guess he's told his whole family, and they didn't hear it from me. So as soon as I see him, I'm going to tell him about it. And then we know where a hidey hole is. I'm Jacquelyn sitting there talking to her sister on the phone one night, and I've got I just get on YouTube and I'm listening to these. It's called what the hell is that? Anyway, it's Bigfoot calls, screams, right? So I'm watching this, and she kind of hears that noise. She goes, rewind that right now. Damn it, right now. So I rewind it, and she starts losing her mind, right? Well, her and our youngest daughter always went for this walk down this trail.
Which is also part
Chelsee May. They always go for these hikes, little walks down this bike trail.
It's like in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this bike trail, it's old train tracks is what it is, and they just paved over it. Well, it's like in the middle of nowhere, and you're in between like forest, woods, all this stuff, and fields. But one night we're going back there, and we reach this point that we always get to, and I like to do it at night. I thought it was just fun to go late at night. And we go, and we just started hearing this, like screaming, like this weird, like scary, animalistic / humanoid type screaming. And it was terrifying. And it was just repeated screaming. It seemed like the closer we got, the louder it got. And we were both like, no, we're out of here, you know? And at that point, in my head, like it didn't sound like a person, okay?
Right.
But it didn't sound like quite an animal that I'd never heard. And I've heard, you know, deer screams out here. I've heard cow screams. I've heard all these different kinds of animals. It has a coyote screams. Nothing like any of that. You know, I'm like, what the heck is that? So I just chopped it up to, I thought my mind was like, okay, it's something ghost related in the woods. Like I'm like, it's something paranormal related, and I was thinking more of the lines of spiritual, like ghosts or spirits or something trying to chase us out of the woods, until I was video chatting my sister and he started playing those calls. Yeah. And when he played that, you know, supposed like Bigfoot scream, and it sounded like
what I heard.
It blew my mind. Yeah. I mean, it was terrifying to me.
They both tried to get me to go on these walks several times, and do I look like I'm going to go for a walk, a long one? No. Right. But as soon as she heard that, and then she told me the story, I said, let's go.
Right? I'll go walk for that.
Yeah. So I don't want to give everything away, but on YouTube is Squash, Iowa. Okay. That's Seth and his brother Jesse Alne's production. Okay. It won awards. Wow. Go watch it. Squash, Iowa. Ours, it's make sure you go to the bathroom and have plenty of snacks. It's 3 hours long. The first investigation on it is me and Jacquelyn took them there. So wow. Check it out. It was a crazy night. It was crazy. So Squatch is alive and well in Iowa.
Yeah, we took them to that exact spot. Like we took them to that exact spot. And me thinking like, okay, what are the chances something's going to happen again? Like they're like zero chances something's going to happen in the exact same spot. So, you know, I'm going, but I mean, I'm not really expecting anything to happen. Right. And
she's just getting another one of her walks.
My freaking mind was blown. I mean, we've got wood knocks, screams, everything. And there was multiple people. Seth and Jesse, we had their cop. That cop was with us, their friend. Why do I forget his name? I don't know. Alan. Yes, Alan. He was with, I mean, it was crazy. The wives, they were there too. It was
so as you can tell, we're like thrill junkies. We're all over the gambit.
They're more like, I don't know. I get like when it comes to paranormal, I'm addicted to it. But they all ride roller coasters, and I won't.
Yeah. She proposed to me on the Griffin at Busch Gardens.
Okay, and the reason being is this man proposed to me 3 times?
Yeah.
He proposed to me 3 different times. I said yes every time, but he wanted to keep upping himself. So since he wanted to keep upping himself, I thought, well, if he's going to up himself, I'm going to propose to him right before we drop on this here roller coaster.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. If nobody's rode the Griffin, the thing will take you clear up there, and then it'll hang you down there, and your feet are dangling, right?
You're dangling.
It's not in a cart.
You're looking at the
ground. No.
So
hell no.
It takes you clear up there, then it brings you like this, and it stops. You're just like you're looking at your death below, right? And she goes, hey, William, will you marry me? I go, yes. She says, are you sure? As soon as I said yes again, it let go. Whoa.
No.
So she upped me. But yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
So you're very intuitive, huh, Jackie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I can feel your energy. Like I said, like while ago, I was messaging on my phone and I sent Dwayne a message, and I'm like, dude, I can feel her energy.
Awesome. Yeah, I am. I really am. I've I definitely would consider myself an empath for sure. That's a curse. I mean, if anybody says, "Oh, I'm an empath," and it's the best thing ever, they're lying to you.
Yeah, usually when we go to Walmart on a Saturday, she waits in the car.
It's a lot.
Who does that sound like?
Y'all are two peas in
I
a pod. I
freaking
swear to God.
hate
You and
Walmart.
Sherika are two
Look,
peas
if
in a
I have
pod.
to go into Walmart, I apologize to Dwayne before we go in. I'm like, look, I'm pre-apologizing because I know in this trip I'm gonna flip shit, and you're gonna be the one that catches the brunt end of it.
I mean,
Like,
because you
I
catch
cannot.
everybody's moods. I mean, you can catch up. You can catch on everybody's stuff. You know,
Yeah.
if you go into a
Yes.
negative environment like that, and everybody, it's just so much, and you start
And look,
feeding
I
on
can
it.
block. Like, I do my grounding, I do my blocking, I do my protection. For some reason, it's like as soon as I walk through Walmart's doors, all that shit goes out the window.
I think it's the lights or something. I mean, too many
people.
in the lights
You're owning all of their moods.
and all the
So-
electronics. I don't know all of it.
It
I'm
is
just too
crazy.
much.
Yes.
So thanks to our good friend Chris Sutton,
Walmart. What the hell?
I developed a little bit of empath myself.
Mhm.
And there's nothing worse than we both picking up on each other. Pretty soon we're fighting and we don't have a clue why.
Yeah.
Been there. Yo.
Why are you mad? I don't know. Why are you mad? I don't know. Well, stop being mad.
Or she'll try to not be mad. I go, I'm sorry, baby. Did I upset you? And then she's mad because I said she's mad.
Yeah. If I'm not mad, don't tell me that I'm mad because I'm gonna get mad.
We like that is so similar to me and Dwayne, but thankfully, like he is so like I don't know. He don't show emotion. Like I could feel his emotion and he feels mine, but he is so good at not showing emotion. But this poor man, I don't know how he puts up with me because he is the one that catches the shit end of the stick. And he's so patient and understanding. And I'm like, how do you put up with me? Like, there are literally days that I will go to sleep because I don't want to be with me.
I've so been there. I've so been there. Like, I can't do this anymore.
He's just like so patient, and I'll be like, you know, afterwards I'm apologizing, and he's like, it's okay, and I'm like, no, it's not okay. Like, how are you okay with it? I don't get it. I don't.
I know, same.
You just gotta learn with women. You just gotta be patient.
It's like I said, till death do us part, and it might happen any minute now.
She's gonna kill me today. Oh well.
You know what? We rarely fight. You know.
Me and her too.
Sweetheart, he's yelled at me. I think like once or twice ever, and I deserved it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
we had our spats in the beginning, but I had just come out of a very toxic relationship, and I was just getting into, like, I've had intuitive experiences since my first one that I remember happened when I was 6 years old. But I come from a very religious home. My dad was a preacher, you know, the whole 9 yards. Later on, I found out my mom has dabbled in some stuff. My mom's very intuitive, but with her upbringing,
my mom did as well.
The devil's work. It gets swept under the, you know. So I went through counseling. I was medication, you know, because I didn't know how to deal with any of that. I had no clue what it was. Well, when we first got together, he's like the first person that I actually did a read on. And I kind of blew my own mind with it, to be honest, because I'm like, I'm fucking crazy. Like, the whole time I'm like, I'm fucking crazy. I need to go to a mental house. And he's like, no, like, keep going. Sorry.
Like, it's like you're
he's like, keep going, you know, keep going. You're on point, like, you know. And I was like, I'm blowing my own mind. So
that. Like, I am still trying to do this. Like, I'm still trying to get over that, because there are times to where I'll be investigating or something, and do you pick up on like spirits' energies and like what they're feeling and what they're going through? Because there's been so many times that that's happened to me throughout my life, and you just go, okay, I'm crazy. Like, I'm crazy. Like, there's no way this is real. Like, I'm not feeling this, you know. And he's really helped me kind of to be more like, okay, if you're feeling this, you need to say it. You know,
Yeah.
say what you're feeling, say what you're experiencing, you know, and then there are times to where I'm like, okay, and I do say what's going on, and it turns out to be like, I'll be like, okay, well, I feel like, you know, they're feeling like this or whatever, and then like you'll get, you know, EVPs that, you know, yeah, confirmation on it in your
Mhm.
EVPs or, you know, Spirit Box or K2 hits or whatever.
Right.
And they're saying like, yes, you're right. You know, this is right. And there was times too, like I remember I'm going to get goosebumps just thinking about this one. To where me and you, I had to have been us. We were on the stage and I was like, okay, I feel like there is a spirit. Okay, I'm going to say this out loud. I feel like there is a spirit right now to the left of me on the stage. I'm like, I feel like that's where you are. I'm like, if that's where you are, like, or I was like, make a knock, like knock wherever you're at right now, like knock loud. And they did right next to me, like right where I felt it. And I mean, it just get goosebumps. It blew me away. And we've been in that school enough to know that it doesn't just make random knocks and bangs and stuff like that, you know, especially if
Right.
it's not windy or anything like that.
Right.
There's times we go in there and it's silent. I mean, it is silent. You don't hear anything. There's no banging, no nothing. But then other nights you go in and you're getting like, you know, banging on the walls, you're getting whistling, you're getting footsteps, and you're seeing, you know, apparitions and just everything. I mean, it's just sometimes it's crazy and sometimes it's not.
Yep. Well, there's two times that stood out to me. And one of them, it very, very rarely happens. Like, I don't know what I am. I don't label myself. I call myself a Heinz 57 because I can do, like, I can read people, but not all the time. Like, I just get certain things from certain people or, you know, but there was one we was doing in Missouri, in Palmyra, Missouri, and it was a little girl that I was feeling, and it was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I'm not good with these technical terms and, you know, whatever, but it was like, and she was a sweet energy. So I really opened up. And like I said, like I haven't been doing like the intuitive part of it for a super long time. So I'm still, you know, whatever, learning. And, but it was like, I guess I opened up a lot and she kind of took over me. So I was speaking, but it was her speaking, if that makes sense.
Yes. I have felt that. Felt that.
The first time
feel that and do that, and it is scary. It's a bit scary.
It is at first because it was like I stepped out and she stepped in.
Yeah, it's a bit scary because you're like you're still there, but you're not there. You know,
exactly.
Like
it was like
there,
I was watching my body with somebody.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at my wife.
So, but with her, it was like, it was the first time I'd been there and I was just doing the walkthrough. And I always tell everybody, like, when I first do the walkthrough, don't tell me the history. Don't, especially if it's not an infamous place, you know, because some of the places you just know. But
yeah.
And it was like this little girl came in and like she fell in the well. And that's what like she was relaying through me.
Oh no.
It's actually documented, and that's what had happened to her.
Wow.
And it was just really crazy.
And that's awesome because I mean that's super solidifying for you. You know, because I mean, whenever you do, you know, have abilities or, you know, whatever you want to call it, I mean, it's hard not to feel kind of crazy sometimes. You know, I mean, until you get more used to it, more comfortable. Like I've been dealing with this my whole life. I mean, my first paranormal experiences were happening when I was like 9, 10 years old. Yep. You know, so I mean, it has been my whole life, and I mean, I'm still just, you know, like, okay, I can feel that that's there. Okay, that's real. You know, I know what I'm feeling. That's real. And even still, I mean, I'm still such a skeptic with myself. I mean, I'm like, I see you, I feel you, but can you prove it? Like,
yes,
you're proving it. It's
one of my abilities, one of my strongest abilities is I can hear them.
Ooh.
He has like, we'll be investigating and he'll be like, did you hear that? And we're all like, no. And he'll be like, it said this.
Like
and we'll
there's
go back and listen to the EVP, and it'll be on the EVP exactly where he said and what he said it said. And I'm like,
that is so
but
cool.
then, like, we could be sitting at home and I'll be talking to him and he'll be like, what? And I'm like, bro, you can hear spirit, but you can't hear me, and I'm right here screaming at you. Like, what?
Selective hearing.
Yes. Yes.
You funny. I love that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's happened to me a lot, but I can never quite understand what they're saying. But there are so many times, but I will go back on, and listen to the recording, and it's kind of the same thing, to where that's where you're hearing your EVP is exactly where, I'm getting goosebumps, like, 'cause it's so cool to me, to where there's so many times, like, I've done a lot of EVP work, like I was obsessed with EVPs, like when I first started, because I was sitting there by myself. I mean, it didn't matter what time of day it was, didn't matter where I was at. If I busted out my recorder and I started to talk to them, they would talk to me, and I could go back and listen no matter what. And it got to the point to where I swear I'm hearing them with my own ears. Like I asked a question, I'm hearing I can't make it out, but I can hear the sounds and the voices, and then go back and listen. I mean, it's cool. I'm getting all goosebumpy. I'm getting all like excited.
I don't hear them, but like, I don't know how to explain it. That's why I say Heinz 57, because I don't know. But
Sherika hears them, not with their ears, though.
I just know. Right. It's like they tell me something, and I just know. It's almost like a thought, but it's not my thought. It's different than my thoughts that I have.
Yeah, that was something you wouldn't normally think.
See, my deal is when I got connected to the schoolhouse, and I don't mean came aboard, but got connected to the schoolhouse. I knew what they wanted. I couldn't hear them. I just knew what they wanted.
Yep.
And I kind of fell off my path there for a little bit, and I kind of lost everything. Real life got in the way and everything, and
like a block.
I put up blocks in my head and my body or my psyche. But yeah, I knew exactly what they wanted. I knew if there was unhappiness. I knew if there was happiness. Or otherwise,
Yep.
And,
now, have you ever connected with this spirit? Like there's one that I've connected with, and he's a very misunderstood. A lot of people think that he's mean and he's aggressive, and I'm like so protective of him, and I just feel this is the only one I've ever been like that with.
I've connected with a few. I mean, I have I feel like 2 major spirits that are around me all the time, and I've connected with them pretty well.
But see, this one's different than my guide, because I've got my guides that I'm connected to, but this one is from a location that we visited a few times.
So it's just it's just a regular spirit for sure.
I'm so overprotective of him though, because like he called Lauren, the other girl that's on our team. We've got an EVP where he called her a bitch. Like, he does not like her. And, she'll start talking about him. And, of course, her perception of him is different than what my perception is. And, I'll get mad at her. And I'm like, bro, stop talking about him like that. That's not how he, I am so protective of him. He's not, one of my guides or anything. He don't come home with me. He stays at that location. But I'm for some reason, and like I said, other than my guides, I'm connected to my guides on a different level. But with him, it's I don't know. It's weird to me.
I think right now my guys are banging their heads on the wall. But mine would be the principal at the schoolhouse. I think it was actually Kim that we short stack. You're interrupting my story.
I'm sorry.
We were doing a spirit box session in the library at one of our study halls that they were co-hosting. I believe it was it Kim? I don't know. But we were talking to this young man. young boy, and having a good conversation. And then all of a sudden, this other person comes in. He was, I like him as like a upperclassman from the K through 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
He come on, the little boy went away. He came on and said, "This is stupid. This is effing stupid." And I was getting a little angry. I was telling him to get out of here. He wouldn't get out of here. And I said, "Mr. Principal." And he come on and he says, "Yes." And I says, "Can you do me a favor? Can you get this person out of here? We want to talk to that little boy again." He says, "Sure." That guy, that
I was there when this
yeah,
happened too.
that punk went away, and the little boy came back. So I pulled a favor in the spirit world.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
It
That's
was
awesome.
crazy,
Really
and I
awesome.
was there like that. It was real, and it happened, and it was just
That's
so.
amazing when stuff like that happens. I love it.
Yeah.
But
Was
we're
it-
super
Was it
protective
the
of the
Farrar
school.
school where the dude got hit?
Probably. Sounds
there
about
some-
right.
Was there somebody at the Farrar
Chuck was
Schoolhouse that
telling
got
us about
hit?
it.
That got hit with a brick?
I don't know about a brick.
He didn't. We
I
got
don't know about
we
a
got
brick.
somebody that like basically kind of got knocked out,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we
Was
had people
Chuck
had like
there? 'Cause
rocks
Chuck was
thrown at
telling
him.
us about him. That there was a skeptic there, and he like popped off something, or he was just being, and it threw something at him and like knocked him out.
No,
They didn't get. He didn't. Nothing got thrown at him.
Knocked,
This was our event.
yeah,
He was the.
refresh my memory on where that was at, Chuck. If you're still in here. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Chuck was there, wasn't he?
Uh,
No, this kid was just the cockiest non-believer ever. He come in acting the fool. And after a night of that, they were down in the boiler room. And I think Chuck's down there with him. And he's being cocky and everything, and he just got laid out flat. He just kind of passed out.
and he was
Next
so cocky.
Yeah,
the
next thing I
second he
know,
walked
I'm
in.
outside having a cigarette. Next thing I know, 4 people are carrying him out and laying him on the grass.
Yeah, Chuck
I
was
mean,
telling us about one though,
I'm
and there was a
pretty sure.
video, and I think he got hit with something, didn't he?
I don't know about
I
don't
can't remember.
that turned
I
that kid around though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
That may have been the one that
That
Chuck
is-
was talking about. I don't think. Okay, maybe I had it wrong. That it didn't really throw something at him, but it laid him
No.
out.
it
He
was.
And
got
then after
knocked
that,
out.
he was a believer.
There's another the rest of that story. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah, he went from this is all bull crap. I hate all, this is all
Yes.
bull. I don't believe any of this, to that stuff happening. And then his mother contacted me, and his mom was like, "Hey, I feel like something followed him from the school." She's like, "I'm really worried." She said he was driving down the road, and he said out of nowhere, a little girl just like appeared right in front of him and just was like screaming in his face. Luckily he didn't wreck his car or anything like that. Well, after that, this guy that was super cocky and was the guy that got knocked out,
Uh-huh.
he was messaging me saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like that. I'm 100% a believer now. And how do I go about getting on a paranormal team?" I mean, he
that's
went
cool.
from not believing at all to wanting to be,
Yeah,
a part of
the schoolhouse will change you. That's for sure.
As bad as it sounds, those are my favorite kind. Whenever
Right.
and there's a location like that here in Arkansas as well. That the old Arkansas hospital, it'll make anybody a believer that's a non-believer at points. I can tell you that.
Yeah, see, Kim says she was there that night that kid
Her
got
daddy
hit.
lives in Paragould, you know.
Really?
Ah,
We got
that's where Heather
we got
is
a
from.
heaven.
Heaven.
Yeah, we got
Not
a
Heather.
Dark
I know I
Knight
said
family
Heather.
member that's actually in Paragould, and she wants to go on an investigation with us, but she hasn't got to yet. Paragould's it's only about 4 hours from us because it's over. I think it's closer to Memphis.
Yeah.
But
closer to Memphis. We might
That's
have
where my
to.
daddy is.
His dad lives in Memphis right now. We might have to get together one of these days and check out some
Yeah.
Arkansas
And then you
locations.
yeah,
And
we can hook
Crystal
y'all up.
said, "I love Crystal. Crystal's amazing." She said she had a
Yeah.
steel rod thrown at her in the broiler room.
Yeah. Did you say broiler?
Yeah,
This ain't Burger King,
She
man.
said broiler. Crystal
I'm
said
from
broiler.
Arkansas. Okay, I don't say shit right. I have that accent. It's a
I'm
broiler
kidding.
room.
I'm kidding.
Boy, I don't. How do you say it?
Boiler.
Boiler.
Boiler, no R.
Like you boil water.
Well, she put an R in it, so I read it how it was wrote on the screen.
Yeah.
That's my excuse. We'll go with that.
And whoever said that, I'm not making fun. I'm just
Crystal.
having fun.
Crystal.
Crystal.
Oh,
Yeah,
Crystal.
Crystal.
that's an amazing lady
Hey,
too. We got to meet her.
Lady, I miss you.
I know. We love Crystal. Lindsay's
Yeah,
in here.
we actually got to meet Crystal.
Cheerleaders here? Yeah, cheerleaders in here.
We have actually got to meet Crystal.
So
Crystal.
Lindsay Upchurch in the chat is the girl that is our dear friend. She was on Jacquelyn's team. The Sprint Chasers.
Lindsay is my girl. Remember,
Hi,
I was
Lindsay.
just talking about you, Lindsay. I said I was wanting to get into it, but I was kind of scared, and I knew they'd talk to me. But you were the one that had equipment. Like, you just got a recorder and a K2, and she was the one. I used her K2 and her recorder. And, yeah, we ended up being in a team together, and she's done some stuff with us, too.
She's awesome.
Yeah, we love Lindsay. She's awesome.
Me
She's
and
a great investigator.
Me and her husband, he's a Des Moines City policeman. We got kind of a bromance going on. He's cool.
So we didn't get to meet her husband, but we got to meet her and her son.
We got so many. We got so many.
Actually, at
no,
Dog
they're
Patch.
talking about Lindsay, I think.
Yeah.
No, well.
Yeah, they're talking.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Crystal.
We miss you too, Lindsay.
Yes, we
and
do.
Crystal. Yes,
We got-
good days. Oh my gosh, me and Lindsay. Oh my goodness. We investigated Perkins once, the 24-hour Perkins on East Euclid, and we did some random. Yeah, we had fun. Good old days.
Like the majority of our paranormal friends are in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
I like how you say Iowa.
We're friends with Josh Hurd. We're friends with Chris Case.
Yes, we love Josh.
He's my brother.
Of course, we were friends with Chris Sutton. Sad situation there.
Very much.
Yeah, he was my brother and mentor. And can I tell you a little story about him?
Yeah. For sure,
okay.
man.
Won't go into why, but me and him had a little falling out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came up that he had cancer, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm still trying to put stuff away in my head and everything in my heart. And I was coming home one day. I was going to give him a call and put the toys back in the toy box and start loving like brothers again, right? Mm-hmm. And I sat down after a long day, and then Jacquelyn broke it to me that he passed on, right? And that hurt even more because that's like a phone call that never will happen, right?
You never got the chance.
Right. So
he's still good in spirit, though.
So I got a hold of somebody got a hold of me one night. Says, "Hey, listen, I'm coming to the schoolhouse. I booked the schoolhouse. I've got something for you." I said, okay, I'm kind of tired afterward, but okay, I'll be there, right? So I go there, and me and him go out to the tree. And that's a whole another story in itself, and that's
a lot of people talk about the tree.
The story of the tree. I've heard some stories about the tree.
Yeah, and that tree spoke to me. It grabbed me and smacked me around is what it did. But so we're out at the tree. I got my spirit box, and he breaks out this coin. Okay. We had an event. It was the birthday party for Farrar. Farrar turned 100 years old, and Chris Sutton was supposed to be there. And well, we had a falling out, and we didn't speak. So this guy breaks out this coin. I don't know this guy from Adam. He's a great friend now. He breaks out this coin and he hands it to me. He doesn't know the significance of it or anything. It's a Maxwell commemorative coin. Okay. Maxwell is just outside of Farrar, but Farrar is unincorporated and it's in a Maxwell address. Okay. And I flip it over, and it's commemorating 100 years of Maxwell. Okay. He's supposed to be there. What that was kind of a offhanded apology and a little rib, like 100 birthday party. I was supposed to be there, right?
Yo.
This was after death. Chris Sutton came back to mend bridges. Okay.
Yo.
And it's just
And that sounds like something Chris would do too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was my mentor. He guided me, and he did a damn good job. I forgive him. I hope he forgives me.
Oh yeah.
I think he does after
You
that
know.
little session.
You know he does, yeah. Definitely.
But in that little session, I've got the spirit box going, and me and this gentleman's just talking, right? Just chatting. Spirit box just scanning through, and then all of a sudden I hear Chris say, "Will." It's his voice. I go, "Yes." And he said, "Sing." Now, what the hell does that mean? Anybody that has heard me sing doesn't want me to sing anymore. Okay.
But anybody that knows or has ever investigated with Will knows, for whatever reason, at some point during the investigation, he's gonna have to break out into song. I mean,
Bro,
no matter where we are,
that is me to a T. And I don't even got to be in a damn investigation. I
Just
just be
all day, every
randomly
day,
throughout
you
the
will
day,
say
I'll start
something, and
singing.
he will ramble off a song lyric
Yeah.
to the situation.
Because you just said the words that were in that song. I do it all the time.
That is
we gotta get together when we go to
But
Arkansas.
yes.
Here's another part of that. This was I don't think it was that day, was it? It was a different day. Me and you out at the tree. Okay. Anybody that knows Jacquelyn knows she's an animal lover.
Oh yes,
Particularly cats.
oh,
Okay.
This broke
So-
my heart. Yeah,
so-
this was like,
Jacquelyn had a little bit of hurt in her heart from Chris too. So we were sitting out there, and we have the spirit box going. I can't remember if it had anything in there or not, but
Right?
she heard Chris. She says, "Hey Chris, can you help me? I don't know the words to this next one. It's the song the
yes,
hey ya song."
his O Cedar Tree
Yeah.
song that he used to
Yes.
sing.
Oh, I love
He sang that one at our
And then-
ParaCon.
She says, "Can you help me finish this?" And Chris says, "Hey ya."
Like you heard
Okay.
his voice say, "Hey,
And so-
yeah." Like I'm gonna get emotional.
So Jacquelyn, she starts crying hard after hearing that. Right, it touched her.
Mhm.
Because he did exactly what she asked him. She starts crying hard and uncontrollable, and all of a sudden you hear this meow, right?
It's like baby.
Far off meow,
Yeah.
and from the back of the schoolhouse, way over there, starts coming this cat, and it comes up and it crawls right. It's a random cat we've never seen before in our lives. Comes and just cuddles up in her
Just like
lap.
curls up in my lap, like I was crying, and this
She's
little
crying.
cat comes out of nowhere and
Chris-
runs all the way across the back of the school.
He sent you some comfort.
Yeah, Chris and her
It
cat.
was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. I've got pictures of it. I've got pictures of the kitty and pictures of him. He's sitting there, He's sitting there and got the necrophonics going, and I've got pictures with the kitty. But it was just amazing. Like, and that made me like, it just melted my heart because I felt like Chris sent me the kitty, like his comfort,
He did.
and he did.
Yes.
He
He did.
did, and I'm gonna get emotional because it was like, it was really special. You know, I mean, there's things that happen all the time that just show you that the people that you love that have passed, that they're still with you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Right.
still there. They're
And
still
I'm an
around.
honest believer in how you was in life is how you are in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'd got to meet Chris once in person, and I wish would have got to know him a lot better than what we did. But he helped us with an issue that we had at our house. Actually, he had came to our ParaCon, and I'm Native American as well. I've got my Indian cards and all of that.
Who
but-
isn't?
exactly? But you know, he sang that exact song that she was just talking about. He played the drum and sang that song during the Paracon, during his speech. And then we went outside and we all done the big circle and gave a peace offering. And we'd actually contacted him because we had some Native American spirits on our property. And we were having a little bit of an issue with them. And I reached out to him and I'm like, Chris, what do I do? You know, what do we do? How do we, you know, what's the proper way to handle this? Because I know they're very ritualistic. And he told us, you know, what to do, how to do the offering and, you know, give them a peace offering and this and that. And we done that. And from that point forward, like, we've not had an issue with them.
Awesome.
So it's, and you know, that's my house. Like, this is my property. Like, so we live in the middle of nowhere on 40 acres. I don't want to be scared of what's outside in my yard that I can't see. I don't want to have issues with them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, he helped like on a real level.
Yeah.
He helped us get it with peace and we can coexist and we don't have any issues. And it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and Chris guided me in many ways too.
He did with Dwayne a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't quite as
Even
close,
in
but
like, we were trying to put together another Paracon. He was giving me a lot of tips on how to do it, what to
our
go
first
about.
one, we learned everything what not to
And
do.
I
the
can
hard
tell
way.
you that a lot of people that came to our Paracon and spoke, there's a lot of great people that we got to meet. We got to meet Aaron from Ghost Crier. He's a character.
I just laugh
that
because,
guy.
like, you know why I laugh. 'Cause he is so fun.
Yeah, Aaron's an awesome individual. So is Nick. I know him and Nick had parted ways. But
They call me and Nick Twin Towers.
Which one is it that played the game with us?
that was Nick.
That was Nick. Nick's
Nick is
play Cards Against Humanity with Nick while you're drinking. Okay?
No.
Like, oh
No,
my
absolutely
gosh.
not.
So it was me, Nick. I think Matthew Bennett was
Yeah,
there.
Matt Bennett was
Matt
there.
Bennett.
Yeah.
Robert
That
Frey.
guy does not have an inside voice.
No, not at all. We almost
Especially
got
when he's
kicked out of
drunk.
the damn hotel lobby.
Especially
Yeah.
when he's drunk.
Okay, we were playing in the little lobby.
But it was
area
like,
at
it was
the hotel.
him, it was Robert Frey from
Denise
Wisconsin.
and Ron.
Denise
Denise
Pridemore.
Pridemore and Ron.
Yeah.
They were
Arthur,
with
it was
us
me,
at the
Dwayne, and
table.
Lauren.
Yeah, and we were all playing Cards Against
And
Humanity.
And we about got kicked out of. We all had hotel rooms there, obviously, and we all about got kicked out of the hotel.
Hello, Mama Henny. Yeah,
Hey,
but
Mama Henny.
that was
I haven't
was
seen
great.
you in a while.
We had a lot of
Missed
fun.
you.
We had David Glidden. He was at our Paracon.
Yeah.
Gwen Allen.
Gwen Allen. We had
Lots of good people.
yeah, and of course Chris Sutton was there. Chris done his infamous drum playing,
That's what I
which
said.
is
It was the
phenomenal.
song that they were just talking about. It's actually
Yeah.
the song that he
Yeah.
I love it.
He almost went into a trance every time he did it, right? It's
Yes,
He
like,
did,
his
like,
like
eyes.
closes his eyes, and then you could kind of see his eyes roll up into his head.
Yes,
through his
I had
eyelids, you
video
know?
of that,
We
and I
have
was
a
telling
video.
Dwayne at first. I was like, because I'd never seen him play the drum in person, and I was like, it kind of creeped me out at first. Like I'm not gonna lie, it kind of scared me. But within about like, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, just the like peace and the feeling in that song. It was
Yes.
just like, oh, like all the fear, everything else in the world just disappeared, and it was just connecting with that song. And I can't. There's no words to
I've never
describe.
been so in touch and so in tune with the spiritual side when he was doing that. I can tell you
Right.
that.
That's kind of the words I was looking
That
for there.
was
But
like-
it was just, oh, he's amazing.
So why doesn't Jackie ever talk? She's like the security guard or something.
She's very quiet. She needs to
She's-
chime in. Probably
she's
because I
got-
have a loud mouth and I just.
She's got her finger on the block button. I know. She's just waiting for somebody to say something wrong.
Listen, I have stories about aliens and everything
Let's
else.
dive in. Tell us.
Well, Wayne and I were coming back from racing at my mom's house. Well, we were headed to my mom's house, and we saw these lights in the sky. And they would like shoot. One would shoot off of it, and then another one would shoot off. There's like 5 of them, and then they would like zigzag all over the sky.
Sounds like what I was seeing.
And then they would all go back into a circle, and then they'd shoot off again.
Mm.
Sounds quite familiar.
I think I've seen something
It does.
similar to that on YouTube videos. Yeah.
Sounds kind of familiar to what Jackie was saying too. The other Jackie
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah, we got 2 Jackies.
Yeah, to Jacquelyn, but I spelled mine different.
She actually doesn't go by Jackie.
Ah,
Most people call her Jack, but I don't. I didn't marry some dude named
Just
Jack.
wait for that. You know that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Right.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry if
Jane.
I've called you Jackie. Then hers is
okay.
Jacquelyn,
Okay.
and she goes by Jackie, and I don't know. Everybody's
See,
Jackie.
She didn't say a word.
That's
Yeah.
like, okay. My name is Sharika. The first 6 months I knew Dwayne, he called me Sharika and had the whole ghost group and everybody calling me Sharika. And then finally one day I was like, Sharika. And everybody's like, why haven't you corrected us? And I was like, oh, I just don't correct people. I go by it. But 6 months in, I was like, okay, I should probably tell them that my name's not Sharika.
My Hispanic friends call me Wheel.
Wheel.
Will?
Wheel. Is that not a tire? My name's Will.
Down the road.
Oh my God! You go to the Chinese restaurant and they
Oh my God.
say Pepsi, not Pepsi. It's Pepsi. You want some
That's
Pepsi?
our thing. Like, we go eat Chinese a lot, and my kids now, when they go to order, if they're getting Pepsi, they're like, Pepsi? Pepsi? And I'm like, oh my God, yo,
Is
we're
that
going to get
piss?
kicked out of here one day.
Or Pepsi.
Pepsi?
Ah.
Pepsi?
No, but it's a.
Here I'm poking fun, and I only speak one language. You know, I'm the dumb one.
I don't even think I speak the one language right.
I feel you there.
You got that twang going on. So I went down. I went down and lived in Bartlett, Tennessee for 2 years, and I came back with a strong drawl. Right. And
After 2 years.
after
like,
2 years, it was so strong.
And it's still.
And it kind of bled out for a little bit, and it kind of turned into a small town Iowa redneck drawl, you know.
It's
Well-
still pretty southern. And the funniest, sorry to interrupt you, but the funniest thing to me is I was born and raised in Texas until I was like 12 and still go back and forth to the South. And he sounds more southern than me. And he lived in Tennessee for 2 years.
And now talking to y'all, it's going to come back for a week. It's
Right?
Yeah.
Y'all think I'm bad? My daughter that poked her head in a while ago,
Mm.
that
Should hear my
And Jackie's
stepmom.
grandson.
Debbie, my stepmom. They live there. I just love them.
I've been
Jackie's
told
grandson has the strong, and it is so stinking cute. Like, every
Wyatt.
time yes, Wyatt. It is
Yeah.
so sweet. It's so cute. Like, he'll just be talking, and I'll just be like over there laughing and almost giggling, and I'm not making fun of him. It's just so sweet and cute the way he talks.
Yes,
he says, like,
it's like little ones.
He's like,
little girls.
So I can teach anybody to speak with a southern drawl. Okay. I's are A's, and A's are I's, and everything has a question mark at the end of it. Southern drawl, right? Right.
Right?
Oh,
Man, I've been told I have a very strong Southern accent.
You do. Yours is worse than hers. Or
I
that's
don't
just the
think-
worst.
I was
Stronger.
gonna say, I don't think I really have an accent, but like we'll have some people on here and I'll be like, I love your accent. And they're like, I love yours. And I'm like, I don't have an accent. This is just,
The funny thing is, I lived in Indiana for 7 years of my life, and I never lost my Arkansas accent.
Right? Yeah.
Never.
Jackie don't have this southern.
Yeah, I just moved. I don't know. Maybe because I was a teenager. I don't know.
You probably
I've
never.
always
You were a
lived in
teenager.
Arkansas.
I was. I took 7th grade twice that year.
Twice in 1 year? Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, 2 years in a row. I passed 7th grade in school standards, but not my dad's standards. So he made me take it over.
One of those ordeals.
Yeah, them Southern parents, I tell you what, they don't mess
You're going to do
around.
it the right way. Not at all.
I
We're
don't
doing it.
parent like a southern person, but I've lived here all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
See, my kids were all born in Illinois, southern part of Illinois, but still Illinois. So when we moved to Arkansas, my youngest daughter had to repeat 1st grade. And I told them it was because they couldn't understand her.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She's probably the smartest one in the class. They just couldn't understand what she's saying.
Northern people tend to talk a lot faster than Southern people. Like our friend from Green Bay, especially.
Oh my gosh.
Especially his wife.
His wife is way worse than him.
Like they might as well be making a rap song when they're talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I looked
Yeah.
out her one day because we've done some investigating together and was at the hotel, and I looked at her and I was like, look, I'm from Arkansas. My brain cannot process the words you're saying that fast. You're going to have to slow down and give my brain time to catch up to what you're trying to say. I was like, and then you add the accent, so then my brain's like trying to figure out what words she just said, but she's like 15 words ahead, and I'm like, huh? Stop for a second.
Yeah.
Slow down.
And then I just worked with a team from Minnesota and Wisconsin. The team was split, Wisconsin and Minnesota, and the phrases they use just kill me. Like they don't say turn it on, they say send it on.
No, Boston.
Bob's your uncle, and don't you know?
Don't you know?
Yes. Shay Carroll from Boston.
Oh, Sherry Ann.
Sherry Ann, yeah. That Boston, I'm
she's
just
from
like.
Boston, and you can tell she's from Boston.
I can't understand her. I have to sit at Dwayne and look at Dwayne and like listen to words that he says back to figure out what she says.
I had an old boss that was from Minneapolis, and that accent you're talking about was spot on. It was like,
yeah.
What?
And you know, like the Walmart bags, they say bag. It's a
And
bag.
you're like, what's a bag?
And bagels, they say bagels. Well,
Yep.
that makes sense.
And
I said,
pants.
what kind
Pants
of
are
English?
pants,
What kind of English you talking? They say proper English. Okay.
right? Something.
Yeah. So this totally got way off of paranormal, but whatever.
Pants or paints too. I know that one because
Okay.
I had a family member and she's like, I gotta go change my paints, and I'm like, you gotta change your what? I gotta go change my paints, and I'm like, well, what color are we painting? And she's like, no, my paints, and starts pulling out the paint leg, and I'm like, you gotta change your
I call them
pants.
britches.
Yeah,
britches.
no, I did too.
They're britches, not pants.
He's
Paints.
old. The worst part, he's got me freaking saying britches. I'm like,
Britches.
old man problems.
Well,
Saying, like
A
britches.
lot of Southerners will call it winder
Yeah.
instead of window.
See, okay, I've been proper on that. It's like, window and wash. My mom is the worst about, she's going to go wash your dishes. And I'll be like, Mama, how do you spell that? Because there's no water in it.
I'm
It's not
fixing to
wash.
go wash the dishes. I'm fixing to go wash course.
And yonder.
I can't do a southern accent on accident. Like it has to literally just come out real, or I can't.
Whenever she tries to do an accent, it just comes out as Cartman.
Yes.
So if you hear me doing like a southern accent or something, it's legit, because if I try to do an accent, I'm like, "Hi guys," and I can't even. That's not even right. I can't even do a Cartman accent. But if I try to do say like a Spanish accent, it's gonna come out as Cartman. I don't know how this works, but it's
every now and again I just tell her, "Hey, your dad just came out."
What were you saying a while ago, other Jackie? Whatever way.
My youngest one went on the road with Wayne, and they had to go to Mondovi, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Jamie had to use the bathroom, and she got into an argument with the lady because she couldn't understand what Jamie was saying.
The restroom.
Couldn't understand what she was saying.
You can understand.
That's funny.
They're both getting mad at each other. That was like me and this lady I used to work with. Like, I love her so much, but she had a very, I think it's, what was it? I think it was Vietnamese accent, I think. And I loved her. She was, you know, I mean, there was times, but for the most part, I thought I liked her. But there was just times she'd talk to me and she'd ask me to do things or whatever. And I just have to say yes, you know, and okay, because I could not understand her. And eventually I'd say what so many times, you could just tell she was literally getting mad because I couldn't understand her. So I'd just say, okay, yes. And then here I am getting in trouble because I'm not doing what she told me to do because I didn't understand what she told me.
Because you didn't know what she told you to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like I get in trouble because I don't understand, but then I get in trouble.
She's really not good with accents.
No,
it's crazy the different dialects and stuff that
Except
everybody uses.
Yeah.
And you do. Okay. We did get off paranormal, but I'm going to flip it back to paranormal.
Okay.
Because we've had
All right.
times like in EVPs where they say something, and there was one of them, and I can't remember. It was some kind of, I don't even remember. Lauren's the one that helped me with it, but it kept saying something. And we're like, we know that's what the EVP says, but we had no idea what it meant. So we started Googling it, and in what it meant, it actually made sense. But it was the dialogue that they used to say it. We were lost. We had no idea. We had to Google it, and it was just the dialogue difference.
That's awesome. Like I've had some really like crazy EVPs to where like I've gotten them and I go back and listen, and it sounds like they're from a completely different time. I mean, you can tell like the way they're talking and what they're saying that they're just from a long, long time ago. You know, we don't talk like that now. You know, and it's cool. I mean, it's just really cool.
It really is.
But
Yeah,
so
there's a. Oh, go ahead. So there's a little bit of lag in it, so that's why I don't mean to cut y'all off. It's just like that's not just y'all; it's all together. It's just the internet and how it works. But now there's a old schoolhouse that I done out in Fort Chaffee, and Ghost Adventures also done some former prisons out there, which I actually got to do before they tore them down. They're no longer standing. That was they actually held John Lennon's killer in the prison.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Elvis Presley was stationed. Yeah, Ghost Adventures did it.
Yeah.
Were they talking about him getting rid of the prison?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen that.
Yeah, so
Elvis
I actually
Presley was stationed there for a little bit. John Lennon's killer was housed there. It's
like out there, we actually got German speaking EVPs.
Mm-hmm.
She's waving at you, Katie.
That's not any.
That's our youngest one.
You got everything ready for school tomorrow? Oh, my pants. I
But
told you to start those like 3 hours ago.
Jamal Jones said, "Oh, I called him wash your breast and it started like an hour ago."
Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, but yeah, like he was saying he caught the German.
yeah, we
Speakers
got
on
some
there.
German EVPs out there. And then I also done a schoolhouse, which sadly, I tried to get back into because they were in the process of remodeling it into a restaurant. And, well, they had a lot of German prisoners of war and stuff back in the day because that was World War
actually part
II.
of the same base.
Yeah,
but
World War II, it's all
separated.
part of the same base. And I had this dude sound like he almost had like a European accent. He's like, I'm from Manor. And the way he said it, like we were standing outside, and I didn't hear it with my ears at that time because I was still fairly new to listening to EVPs and such. And just like it was like we were standing on a patio outside, and he come right up to our face and said, I'm from Manor.
That is awesome.
And I was all, dude, what?
So awesome.
I had to go back and listen to that like 5 times just because I was like, that wasn't us.
I was trying to figure out what he was trying to say.
Yeah, and that's a
with
different accent
too.
with the accent, and he's got that. So it's pretty cool whenever you catch EVPs that have different accents and different time periods.
Like the I want your hand in marriage.
So what's your let me ask you what your theory is on why schoolhouses would be haunted.
I'll let you speak first, and then I'll say mine.
And for me, I think it's the different energies that go through the schoolhouses over the years. Like kids are very open. Their minds are very pure. They're not taught like a lot of us are over years and years and years. So, I mean, really, why wouldn't the spirits come to the schoolhouse and try to communicate with the kids in that sense? Also, think about how much energy children carry.
Why would a child or an adult stay at this school after they pass? Why wouldn't their spirit go somewhere else? Why do you think they're at this?
Because that was a time in their life where they spent a lot of time at. I believe they were, I want to say, happy times, but then you also got like sad times where kids are bullied, things like that. But I don't know why. Like, I still don't understand why they would want to stay. Like, I don't know. It's just my theory.
I'll say my theory on it.
Go ahead.
It's kind of multi-layer. I think a lot of it could be from the land itself, not necessarily the school building or the school, place. But like you were talking about, like the principal. I mean, if that was his passion, if he loved the children, that was his passion, I feel like that would keep him there because that's his passion. That's something he loved. As far as like the children goes, I think there's a lot of times in school, like, say there's abuse at the house or something, and a teacher or something makes an impact on their life. That could be a special place for them, or, things like that would be my theory on it.
I think us four are like really in tune. So I was religious, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm spiritual. I believe there's a God, Jacquelyn, there's a creator, okay? Not that white-haired man in the Cloud City, right?
Mm-hmm.
She brought this thought on to me. If you're good enough to go to heaven, and heaven is what you make of it, and I can buy that, because if you're religious, children are innocent, and when they die, they ascend to heaven immediately, right?
Yeah.
So then, why do we have children spirits at the schoolhouse, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm not necessarily. Well, go ahead.
And like Quinn said, especially our schoolhouse, the Great Depression, home life wasn't really the happiest place on earth. And some of these kids, schoolhouse was vacation, because they got up before the sun, did their farm chores, went to school, then they went home and did them all over again until they fell into bed.
Mm-hmm.
and the Great Depression, where there's lack of food, lack of money, and everything, there wasn't
schools
really
had it.
good happy times at home, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, both of you said exactly what's in my head, you know?
That was her happy place.
Yeah, it was their happy place.
Out of all the problems they had, school and friends, that was her happy place. So I mean, if you go back to any, I feel like heaven is what you make of it. You know, if their happiest moments were at school with their friends, and that's what they wanted to do. That's what they go back.
Well, I mean, even if you take it, I'll take it a step farther too on like the bullies, you know, because like I said, I believe how you was in life transforms to the afterlife. Some of the school locations have bullies, you know, spirit form bullies that are there. You know, what was going on in their life that made them have to make other people miserable to feel good about their self. So was that when they was bullying the other kids at school, was that their happy moment? I think some of it too could go into, if you go into the residual, you know, if they're on a time loop, school would have been a part of their life. So they would pass through that school if it's a residual loop. So I have a lot of different theories on it, but I mean.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I'm kind of like you. I have the way that you worded it, like I have my religious views, but I'm very spiritual. And I'm learning to piece them together because, like I said, growing up, I was raised very religious. And then about 4 or 5 years ago is when I've started into the spiritual side of it. So I'm still learning and merging them together. I think the spiritual and the religious, and I'm not talking about like the man-made religions and politics of it, but like the true religion, a lot of it go hand in hand, in my belief.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been 8 different religions, and every one of them said the other one was wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm.
See, where I was raised non-denominational.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a mix of all of them. Like even, and you know, none of us are perfect. So in growing up, my parents did tend to fall into, I was raised non-denominational. It's what my parents, you know, but they would find a church and kind of fall into the politics in that certain denomination. But to me, I'm like, there's things from all of them that I believe. There's things from all of them I disagree with. And I don't do the politics. I don't do the, you know, the man-made religions of it. I mean, I'll even go into like paganism. There's things in paganism that I believe. There's things in.
And if you do what we do in the paranormal universe, you got to have an open mind on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Who says either one of us is right? You know. One of my favorite phrases is, "We don't know anything until a ghost pulls a freaking press conference." You know.
Yep.
We think we know a lot, but we really don't. In my opinion, that is.
Yeah.
You know, religion is good for people. I'll say that. Is it right? I don't know. I'm going to live my life the way God wants me to, what I believe He wants me to, and I can't see myself going to this fiery hell. I don't think it's fiery hell, you know. But you know, like you said, paganism. I haven't delved too deep into it, but I have friends that are, you know. We mentioned Matt Bennett earlier. He's pagan.
Nope.
He's a good guy. Is he right? I don't know. Am I right? I don't know.
No.
Oh, that's right.
Men are never right.
Yeah. But to be religious and to ghost hunt by religious standards You're not supposed to believe in that.
Well, it kind of depends on how you look at it, because I've actually went through some of the Bible schools, and my interpretation, and like you said, I could be completely wrong. I could be way off the mark. I mean, there was prophecy, people that did the prophecies. There was, it was in the Bible. It was what you did with it,
Right.
is what made it wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, even me and my mom at first, when I first started doing this, we kind of clashed on it, because mom's like, are you doing the devil's work? Are you trying to raise people from the dead? She didn't understand it, what I did. And I'm like, no, I don't personally go out and try to raise somebody from the dead. I communicate to spirit that comes to me,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it mentions different ones in the Bible that, what we call intuitive or gifts or abilities or whatever label you want to put on it, were actually in the Bible.
The witch of,
So for people, and then, like, I've had phone calls too where they're like, ghosts aren't real.
That's fun.
Like, I had a guy that's a preacher that owns an old nursing home that we had tried to call, and he's all like, ghosts aren't real. I don't have any ghosts here. Ghosts aren't real. And I'm like, but you're a preacher, right? Yeah. Do you believe in the Holy Ghost? Well, that's different. I said, okay, what about the demons that they cast out into the swine, and the swine jumped off of the cliff? What do you think the demons are? They're spirit. So you're going to sit here and tell me you believe in the Holy Ghost, but you don't believe in other spirits?
Yeah.
Like, what do you believe in? And he's like, you're not investigating, and hung up on me. I was like, okay, that's all you had to say was no, but don't come at me,
I love you too. There are so many. It's so fun when you deal with owners and such of locations that is haunted, and they're like, "Oh, there ain't no ghost here. That's devil stuff. We don't." There's a hotel called the Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
I've heard of that.
And the Arlington Hotel, actually, Al Capone stayed at this hotel.
That was like one of his main.
I've heard of. I knew I heard.
He had shootouts. Him and his mobster men had shootouts in this hotel
because they were in their little casino
ring.
Ring out of it.
They actually have it labeled on the wall where bullets have riddled from these gunfights, the walls in the hotel. But they're all like, we don't want that kind of publicity. That's what they told me when I asked them if we could get in there to do a ghost night.
I get that. I would rather a place tell me, like, we don't want that publicity or we don't want that kind of a name than to try to go into other aspects of it. That just gets on my nerves. Just say no.
To find out later on, now they are starting to let teams in there, or they're letting people do investigations.
They realize, they can make some money off of that, and it's, people want to do.
That's where, like, COVID has shut down a lot of places, but it's opened a lot of places up as well. Because there's another location around here, and I'm not going to say the specific name because, just to be honest, I'm kind of selfish and I kind of want to get in there first. But there's a location around here that a lot of investigators have tried to get into, and they've never let anybody. But with COVID hit and their revenue down, they're actually going to start opening up and letting paranormal come in there for the financial gain of it. Sure. So it's wiped out a few locations, but it's opened up some locations as well.
COVID didn't really hurt the schoolhouse as much as it hurt our events.
Yeah.
Because their bookings, they were booked solid throughout the whole thing.
Yep.
The Olivers just didn't come out to greet them,
Yeah.
So it didn't really hurt the pocketbook, so to speak, in that manner. Just for our events, we missed out on that. We missed a lot of them.
Yeah, and I think like more of a place like that, it probably helped in the bookings, if anything. But I'm saying, like, one of the locations that we do, we keep referring to, it's the Old Arkansas Hospital. They actually shut down. Like, I mean, they're still operational and we can't reveal the location because it's still operated by the government, and part of it is still functioning for governmental operations. But they made extra money by allowing us to investigate a certain building of the place. And because of COVID, they wasn't allowed to let us come in because they had to protect the other side of it from COVID. And actually, we're going in 2 weeks for our first investigation there in 2 years or 3 years.
2019, I think, was the last time.
And we used to go like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So
you're already planning out 3 years from now?
Well, no, we haven't been able to do it for the past 3 years.
All right.
Because of
It's really late. I'm old, so I.
No. We used to do it like 3, 4, 5 times a year. It's one of my favorite locations. But for the past 3 years, we haven't got to do it because of COVID. And they're finally opening back up. I think the ones that are like more paranormal based, it didn't hurt as much as the ones that's operational as something else that allow investigations are the ones that really got hurt.
Now this year we are talking about coming to Iowa.
They are.
To investigate some
Well, if I see videos from Malvern Manor and Edinburgh and all that, and I don't see it Farrar, I'm going to be pissed.
Farrar is one of them that we've definitely talked about. We definitely want to try to do that one. Hopefully we can do it before they sell it. My thing, look, I don't do cold.
In the summer, we're not going to come up there until it warms up. Okay, Sherika?
Well, I'll let you know that it's generally a 30-degree temperature change in the building and outside. So if it's hot outside, it's 30 degrees hotter, and vice versa.
See, I'm okay with that. I can handle heat.
She's all right with that.
I'd rather have the cold. Cannot do the
Air
cold.
conditioned or heated room.
Yes.
So, there is one room with AC.
They call it the safe room. There's nothing safe about it.
No, but the Farrar Schoolhouse and Edinburgh Manor are definitely on my list. And if we come to Iowa, I plan on coming to Iowa if everything, God willing, God bless, works out. I plan on coming to Iowa and definitely doing Farrar Schoolhouse and Edinburgh Manor.
They're trying to talk me into it. I'm one of the biggest holdups because I don't do the cold.
It's not going to be cold in the summertime in Iowa.
No,
it's like it is here in the summertime.
Yeah, you guys.
Like y'all went and dropped a foot of snow. I ain't doing all that
February.
Bullshit.
We went in February. I've been to Iowa once. We done Squirrel Cage Jail and we done Matt's schoolhouse that he had for a bit. Both of them great locations.
We had a Frozen Ghost event one year. Was it like in January?
Yeah.
It was freezing in that. We had a lot of turnout.
We did.
We just basically stayed in the safe room where the heat was. That's where we're at.
Let people go.
Yeah, you guys go have fun. We're staying in here.
Okay, so if somebody didn't know a whole lot about Farrar, what would you tell them as far as, like, I mean, y'all are there all the time, like, what would you tell somebody that didn't know a whole lot about Farrar?
You mean as experiences? Just
in general, like, yeah, experiences. What is it like? What's the energy like?
It's as far as energy goes, it would be probably a give and take of whoever you're talking to. Jacquelyn feels probably more darkness than I do. And when I say darkness, I don't mean evil.
Right. I totally understand you on that level.
Get away from me, darkness,
Mhm.
It just depends on your heart when you come in, what your intentions are, because I'm a true believer that spirits know your intentions without even saying them.
Yep.
So therefore, as in that kid that got carried out, his intentions were belligerent.
Yep.
He got showed. You come in with a clean heart, you're going to have a good experience. For the most part, bring your equipment. But if you're not getting any experiences, set it down, unplug.
Because I swear sometimes there, it's like they watch you, and I feel like there are times to where you go in rearing with all your equipment and everything, and they're like, no, like we're not doing this. But then you go in another time, you don't have a single thing on you, you're not recording, you're not doing nothing, and it is just off the chart. I mean, actually off the chart.
Yeah. I used to be. I told you before I met Jacquelyn. I made my own equipment. She has a really nice case of equipment in here. I rarely use them anymore. My thing was audio, because I'm sitting there speaking to somebody that's I can't see.
Right.
That audio is amazing to me. But I don't even go there anymore. I just go for the experience, and I tend to have a better experience. I always say, I'm not trying to make a movie, and I'm not trying to prove anything. So I mean, why try to record it for me?
Right.
And
Sometimes though,
to each his own.
but I mean, sometimes you really need to go back and listen because they're communicating.
No, I get no.
You know I mean? You don't want to make the spirit feel like like they're
I completely dig that.
And I absolutely agree with what you say right there. I actually got into an argument with a guy one time. We was at a little village, and the village, they had moved in a bunch of like old buildings that was around the community, that instead of tearing them down, they would move them out to this little area, and it became like the little village. And we went out there one night, and there was a guy that I guess had like done tours there, and they were like, "Oh, he can give you all the history. Do you want us to get him out here?" And I was like, "Okay, sure. If he can give me the history, whatever. Maybe that's important with collabing with the EVPs, stuff." So he gets out there, and it's kind of rainy. It's not like raining real hard or anything, but it's kind of rainy, and he's just, pardon my language, he's just being a cocksucker. And he's all, well, that equipment with the rain and blah, blah, blah. And, just being like completely negative.
Oh,
and I tried
to
walk away. Like I went to a different building. Well, then he comes up there and starts in, like, I'm trying to investigate. And you're in here telling me, running your mouth pretty much. So I left that building and I went back down to like our little base. And he come down there and he's running his mouth again. And finally I just looked at him and I'm like, 2 points. And he's like, what? And I'm like, can you name one piece of paranormal equipment that doesn't have a flaw in it anywhere? You're talking about the weather interfering with the equipment we're using. Can you tell me one piece of equipment that doesn't have a flaw in it somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets quiet. And I'm saying, because if you can tell me one piece of equipment that doesn't have a flaw in it somewhere, what the fuck are any of us even doing?
Yeah.
And I said, second of all, has it ever dawned on you that I might not be doing this to prove it or to get evidence to show other people? Or, could I just be here to connect with spirit on my own? And I said, if that's the case, I don't need any of the equipment. I need me.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, I bring the equipment to help validate for me, not anybody else.
That's the best.
And he's like, well, if you're investigating and you're not trying to catch evidence, then why are you doing it? And I'm like, for me to connect with spirit. I don't care if you, Jim Bob, Joe, Billy Bob down the road, whoever believes. I don't care.
To me, were they new? Were they really new?
No, this guy had been doing it for apparently like a long time. He hosted tours at this place. Like,
And he knew everything there is to know about paranormal.
Yes. And it drove me nuts because I'm
You
like,
love those paranormal
Yes.
experts.
I do
quote
record.
unquote.
I do use equipment. I love it when I capture, evidence or whatever you want to call it that I can put out and be like, oh, hey, look, this is really cool. We caught this. Is that my sole intention when I go out to investigate anywhere? No, never. It's cool. I
Yeah.
love when it happens, but I don't go to a location going, oh, this is only going to be a good investigation if I capture evidence.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I go in for.
Yeah, basically in our events, I tell
I go in for the
everybody,
personal experience.
we're not here
Yes.
to do anything. The schoolhouse will do it. We just open the doors,
Yeah, personal experiences are everything. I mean,
Yes.
to go back to my alien experience. Okay, nothing was caught from that. Nothing.
Right.
But that changed my life. You know what I mean? It is all about the personal experience. I mean, you can have
Yes.
something that can just change your life. And the same thing with spirits and stuff. My first paranormal experience was, traumatizing. I mean, it changed my whole life. You don't need, to report it for it to affect you.
Right.
You don't.
Exactly. And one of our greatest, well, in my opinion, I'm not going to say ours because that would be me speaking for the team, but in my opinion, one of our most profound evidence, whatever you want to call it, that we have ever captured is actually we were at a very famous location and we were doing a spirit box session. And after we got home, we didn't catch it all when we was there. Spirit box, you don't catch everything. But after we got home and we was reviewing evidence, it was a conversation between two spirits. And it was where one of them was talking to the other one about, from our perspective, it was a murder. And she kept saying, I didn't mean to hurt him. I didn't mean to hurt him. And I was like, we can't be hearing this right.
It was basically
A murder confession.
Murder confession.
I mean, and I'm like, bro, this is a famous little place. This is not put out in any of the, the stories and the history and all of that they tell you. You've never hear it mentioned. And I was like, what the hell? So we talked to him, and I'm like, look, I know this don't make no sense because this isn't put out anywhere in the history or anything of this place, but this is what we captured. And he's like, he just goes shh, you can see the shock. And he's like, you got to talk to my wife. We're like, okay. So I go talk to her, and she's like, bro, it is documented that the lady had actually rolled over on her newborn son that was sleeping in the bed with her and had suffocated him. And they don't put it out. It's documented, the death certificate, the whole 9 yards. It was documented.
That's wild.
But they don't put it out because they don't want people to treat the spirit differently.
Right.
Because that's not her focus. That was an accident and she shouldn't feel, They don't want people going in and tearing her down over that. So they do not put it out. But we got it all on EVP. I will never, as profound as that is, I will not put that out for other people.
Yeah, right.
Because they don't need to treat her any different.
Yeah, I've got something like that too. I'm not even going to say as much as you did on it. Same thing. What I like to tell people that come, guests that come to the schoolhouse, and we never push our thoughts and our ways on other people, okay? Because
right,
again, who says we're right?
Exactly.
But I highly suggest to these folks, because I tell you, I've got more spirit friends than I do real friends, right? And I got a lot of
Agreed. Me too.
Yeah. But what I like to tell them is, you treat these people with respect, you're gonna get a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their life when they were alive, so don't treat them that way when you're dead.
Right.
And for instance, when I first got started investigating school, like my first or second time before they slapped me and showed me how to gave me respect, showed me respect, whatever. I don't know what. Beat respect into me. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is a story of, you know, the folklore, the legend of places that get told from person to person to person, right? Bad things happen to kids at Farrar, right? So people go in there and they always say that the principal did it, the janitor did it, whatever. You know, it's a schoolhouse, so they're going to say the words janitor or principal or anything. So I go in there, it's my first or second time in there. I want answers, right? So I go into what we thought at the time was the principal's office, and we find out later that it's never been a principal's office. Yeah, I mean, I'm like Josh Hurd on this. I don't want to say it if it isn't true. Okay.
Right.
So I deleted that whole section from my tours. No longer the principal's office. Never was. So anyway, I'm in that office. I got my foot on the desk, and I've got this. I got the spirit box out, and I'm going completely Zach Baggins on it, right? I want to talk to the principal right now. I want to know why he did it. Blah 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 blah. Like any other newbie ever.
You know, I think everybody that starts investigates like him and then learns.
When I started, I was Zach Jr. Okay.
But anyway, sorry.
I started terrified.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
I literally was like, the experience that I had as a kid was so crazy that
We'll get into
terrified.
We'll get into that story in a second.
Yeah.
So you finish. So I'm in there. I'm yelling at the principal. I want to know why he did it, what he did, and everything else. And in anger, I get this male voice that said, "I didn't do it." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of that was a slap in my face to wake up and stop just falling into the fold and doing what everybody else does.
Oh.
And that was my first lesson. And then I still wasn't quite sure about the spirit box. I'm testing it. It took me 3 months to get the principal's full name, first, middle, and last. And it was the same voice, and it was spread out over different times of the day. So it wasn't a radio bleed, you know.
Right.
That's where I started to realize that these were people too. After we're dead, we're just a ball of energy, which is where all of our emotions come from. Energy. It spins energy. So I just started doing everything with respect. And that's when I started learning.
Right.
And about the day you wake up and you have nothing else to learn, that means you've never learned it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you just continue with respect. You're going to get more answers. You're going to get better experiences.
I will agree with that about 99% of the time.
99.9. Can we go
Yeah.
there?
I'll even go there because there's actually only been one instance that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And you know, it goes again back to what you are in life, you carry over to afterlife. And
Right.
we was at a cemetery. Well, right next to the cemetery, there's a pond. And we kept getting pulled to the pond. And we go over there, and I'm like, yo, I don't like the energy that's over here. Like, I don't like this. Well, Dwayne channels in, and he's talking about hurting the kids, and he's talking about paddling the kids. And it's like specific things that Dwayne was picking up and channeling. And I'm like, look, I don't like this guy. And I mean, like, I got rude with him. I mean, if I don't like you in person, I'm not going to like you in the afterlife either. You know, if I don't like you, I'm going to be rude.
He's a piece of shit.
But a few days later, somebody had reached out with us because we done live feed. They had reached out, and it was actually a serial killer that came from up north. He ran from his charges up north, came down here.
North Carolina,
somewhere in there. Came down here and had actually murdered little boys at the pond, and he paddled them because we kept calling him the paddler. Dwayne kept talking about paddling them.
Oh,
And his name was,
His
and he was known
nickname
as
literally
the paddler.
And I knew nothing about this prior to going out to the cemetery.
None of us did. It
And
wasn't until a few days later
one of the
somebody
other
that had seen our live
investigators
feeds had
sent
done
me an
some.
article.
Yeah, it was. Oh,
Tim.
that was one of the
Tim
investigators.
sent me the
Had
article.
done some research on it because he was very skeptical coming in, and this was like one of his first, you know, not the very first, but one of his first few investigations he'd done. So after Dwayne had channeled him, he started doing research on it, and that's how we found the paddler.
Yeah.
And that one, I'm sorry, like I wouldn't have respected him in life. I'm not going to respect him in the afterlife.
You know what? But you started with respect,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went to reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
Jacquelyn has told me before that I provoked, and I did not provoke. I reacted.
Yeah.
You know, when a spirit says that they're a demon, I get really angry because demons aren't going to tell you they're a demon.
No, demons try everything to avoid having to tell you
As
that.
a friend,
Yep.
drop you in and get a hold of you.
Mhm.
Yep.
Whenever they say they're a demon, I get really pissed.
Mhm.
Well,
See, I'm like, when it comes across, you know, like demon or something like that, I start laughing and I'm like, that's funny.
yeah.
I'm not that dumb. Come on, let's talk and have a real conversation. You know, I'm
Well,
like
no,
that.
you're not
Like
a
at first,
demon.
I went in like you know, I want answers. Tell me now.
Yeah.
All bucked up, and now I go in, and I'm like, you know, look, I just want to know your story. I want to talk to you. I want to know you. I don't go in like most places. I don't go in expecting anything. And it's even at like, you know, like I said, that famous place that we went when we got that. I don't go in with the stories that people tell me that's happened or what spirits are there. I go in and I'm just, you know, who is here? What is your story? You know?
I've got a fun story, a fun paranormal story that I have to share, and it's off topic. Okay.
That's fine.
So we got married at Schoolhouse. We already discussed that, but we never had a honeymoon. Okay. So we went on a little mini moon. Okay.
Okay.
I call it a mini moon because it was just the weekend.
That's awesome.
We went to Estes Park, Colorado.
Oh,
Man.
I got a room at the Stanley. Okay.
yes.
It wasn't in the main house, but still we're at the Stanley.
Right.
And I go in, and at the time she worked with me, helping me lay tile and stuff. So she's in the bathroom of the hotel room, just picking apart the tile.
Right.
It's terrible. They should have done better. Stuff like that.
no.
Well, meanwhile, I'm laying on the bed, just real comfortable, and I break out necrophonics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually talking to somebody, and it was a full-on conversation. And okay, it's you know, it's a mini moon. You know what newlyweds do, you know,
Well,
get
yeah.
get frisky. So we're going to town, just making out and stuff. And I set the phone on the end table, and it's necrophonics is still on. Okay.
Oh, I bet that was very interesting.
Yeah. So we're making out, and over necrophonics it says doggy style, right? We're still fully clothed, but they were like cheering us on, right?
That is awesome.
She smacks me in the chest and says, "Turn it off. They can see it. I don't want to hear them."
Right?
And
Look.
and another part of that too is the closet door. It was a full walk-in closet in there. The closet door shut on us. There's no vent or anything in there to make a backdraft, you know.
Right.
The closet door shut. Yeah. During the good times. I guess they didn't want to see it either, so they shut the door.
They're like, here's you some privacy. We're just going to close this real
Like,
quick.
that paranormal experience at the Stanley.
There you go. See, okay, like that kind of reminds me, like me when I first like started getting in tune with spirit. I would get creeped out in the shower because they would catch me when I was in the shower. I guess that I'm in the shower, my guard's down or whatever, and I'd be in the shower and like me and Dwayne would be taking a shower together and would both hear "Hey," and I'd be like, "Hold on a second," thinking it's one of the kids, and start yelling at the kids, and they're like, "Mom, there ain't nobody back there. Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute. This is my private time. Stay out." When I'm in the shower, it's off limits. Like, spirit don't care. They will connect and communicate. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I've learned that. It can be awkward.
Had the same thing at her mom's house. It would bang on the shower door or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to this day, she has an extra washcloth hanging up to wipe the soap off her face in case.
And I mean,
Yes.
I swear, like, I will never forget that. I'm in there taking a shower and I fell off and I just so happened to be home alone. And it's like the second I covered my face in soap, it was like something grabbed. It was like kind of like the cheaper shower stalls that has like the door that you just like kind of have to pull open and then push close. It's one of those, like one of those. And it was like somebody like grabbed it and was like
Trying to pull it open.
Yeah, I jumped out. I mean, I rinsed my face, jumped out, soaking wet, yelled around the house, I checked everywhere, the back door, front door, there was nobody there. It freaked me out. I was upset.
Yes. I mean, that's like a vulnerable moment, like I'm in the shower naked and like, don't try to talk to me when I'm in the shower. And luckily, like every once in a while when I'm in the shower, I'll still voice it and set my grounds, because I'm like, look, when I'm in the shower, no, leave me alone. Don't try to, that's my time. You can have the rest of my day whenever you want to communicate, whatever. But when I'm in the shower, leave me alone.
I have had a certain spirit that is quite perverted tell me some super perverted stuff through EVPs before that, like, man, made me so uncomfortable that I quit doing EVP sessions for a while. I mean, they made me feel so uncomfortable. Like,
I mean, we've had like perverted experiences and some perverted ones. There again, back when I beginner investigator, we was at an brothel, and they had told us about and it's still there. It's original. It's a little deal at the bottom of the pole, at the bottom of the staircase, that you would slip your money in, your coins or whatever, and you paid for your lady of the night, should come down the stairs and take you back upstairs. And so, I'm like, it's kind of, not a whole lot of activity going on. So I slide a quarter in there and I'm like, well, I paid for my lady of the night. Where's she at? Didn't think nothing about it. Went on. Well, later, after we got home listening to the EVP, after I slipped the quarter in there and I said that, you hear a female voice and she goes, I'm a slut. And I was like, oh, I guess she showed up. And then there's actually a little brothel that's in our town. The building that's there is not the building that was the brothel, but it was on the land. And that, built a house on it, which we don't get to investigate it anymore because my uncle bought the house and we don't get to go in there anymore. But Tim, one of the one I was saying about, he started out very skeptical with it. And he was sitting there and he's talking about like, just messing around late night, not a whole lot of activity going on. And he's talking about, well, it'd be cool if one of them would come sit on my lap or, just mouthing, being a guy. And he like jumps up and freaks out. And we're like, wait, what's your deal? And he's like, bro, something just moved my pant leg. It's like it rubbed up against my leg. And when we went back and watched the video, you could see his pant leg move. Like after he said that, something rubbed his leg and freaked him completely out.
It was funny.
And then at that same place, we were coming down the stairs because it's a 2-story house, and we were coming down the stairs and we had the millimeter going. You know, the temperature deal on the millimeter, the digital, it goes, it's constantly at least a couple of points, not a full degree, but the temperature is like constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
And it stayed the same temperature for like 3 minutes. And like I said, we're walking down the stairs and I'm like, I think the temperature thing on this thing is stuck. And I meant like, broke something, whatever. And there's a female in the background that goes, I'll get it stuck. So yeah, we've gotten some of those. Nothing like personal, like I'm sure yours was, pretty personal to make you feel like that. But we've gotten some pretty perverted EVP and physical responses, and
Yeah.
It cracks you up.
It's good to know that you don't lose your sense of humor after death.
Right?
Definitely not. I one time ran out of questions. Like I've just been doing so many EVP sessions that I felt like I ran out of questions to ask. So at one point I asked if aliens existed, and they literally responded with, "How am I supposed to know?" He was the response.
Right?
It was so funny.
Yo.
It's still funny. I mean, that was years ago, and I'm still laughing.
And I love it.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I love it. Like when you just have those random moments, like when you're just talking amongst yourself, you're not actually investigating per se, but you're just there and carrying on. And they chime in with the EVP to your conversation, or, like that, you run out of things to say. It's late at night. You're tired. You're just, and you pop off something and you get a valid response. It's like,
yeah, they're like part of the.
Want to hang out and chill.
Yeah. They're just chilling. Or like when you get them laughing, like I've had them totally laughing. Like I went back and listened to like we told a joke or something and we're all laughing, and then you can hear, someone else laughing that's not there. It's like they were laughing too.
Yup.
Kids, I'm gonna have to jump off soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just checking the time and I'm like,
Yeah, we had literally just talked about not having a 3-hour show earlier because you had to be
I
up
gotta
at
go
3
pee,
a.m.
so I'm gonna hop off and run a pee. Y'all can
I'm about to die.
Ooh.
I hung out with the best of them, this old man.
Yes, you did. We ended up turning a 3-hour show anyways. Look at that.
And started late. We're sorry.
It started later than we wished. I'm sorry about that, brother.
It's all right. I'll get enough sleep when I'm dead, or maybe not.
That's how I feel most days. I go to work like very little sleep, try to push through the day.
I just hope I don't go haunt my job.
Like, what if there's ghost jobs? I'm sure you've seen that Facebook meme where you got to do what you do.
Yeah.
Still got to work with your dad.
Remember, you got a dress code when you're dead. You gotta, don't wear a hat or you're gonna be evil.
But before we wrap it up, for those of you who don't know, if they want to look y'all up or get more information about the Farrar Schoolhouse, if you would just kind of tell everybody where they need to go.
Yeah. Find us on Facebook, C and H Paranormal. Just think C and H cocaine sugar. And www. You don't have to say that anymore, do you? Farrar.com, FARRAR.com.
No. It's haunting at Farrar.
What did I say? Okay.
Farrar.
All right. Yeah. Haunting at Farrar.com.
Yes, haunting at Farrar.com.
Also, there is a group you can join. It's Farrar Evidence Page. You can, all of our guests that ever caught anything, they put it on there. So it's kind of interesting to see what other people captured, or just come by Rock Creek State Park, go fishing. Just yell up the hill at us. We'll come down.
There you go. That's how you get in touch with Will and Jacquelyn. And also, it's been fun having y'all on. Definitely we get up to Iowa, which if everything goes right, we will. But we get up to Iowa, definitely have to meet up, especially when I come check out the Farrar Schoolhouse for the first time.
For sure. Y'all
Yeah.
got some stuff down there too. We want to see.
Yeah, and and God forbid that the schoolhouse does sell and it's not around anymore. Still look us up because we have other places.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We'll definitely stay in touch. And
Watch it.
again, thanks for staying up so late, hanging out, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for hanging in there. Hopefully, we didn't bore y'all to death or nothing like that, chitter chatting. Y'all know how we are, though. But next Sunday night, of course, we have Joni White Buffalo. She's psychic medium from Canada. We've had her on a while. It's been a while, though, because we just started our podcast back up and stuff recently. Took a break from a lot of stuff because of COVID. But nonetheless, want to thank everybody for tuning in. And Will and Jacquelyn, y'all have a wonderful night as well. Everybody out there, much love. Stay safe. And until next time, good night, everybody.
Thank you so much. It was
Love
fun.
you guys.
Love you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.